To the Premier League. Darren Bent, 20-goal season as a 20-year-old in the Championship with Ipswich, over 20 goals in the Premier League with Sunderland. And what's a sight. Let me describe the scene for you. Away to our right, it's all Sunderland, it's all red and white stripes. So they're in rows, they're in their columns, and one column's got white flags, the next one red, the next one white. It is the sight, red and white stripes for both clubs, but that's what the Sunderland half are doing. Scarves were left on every seat of the Sheffield United end, and they are twirling them helicopter style above their heads. It's quite a vision, it's a movement, and it's a noise that really makes it so special. And Ian Holloway, sometimes, you know, the game itself, the Championship playoff final, doesn't always live up to it because there's so much on it. It's so tense, it's so nervous, but the atmosphere around it, this is why I love this game. It is, I think it is my favourite day of the football calendar, Championship playoff final day.
Totally agree with you. And having experienced so many walking up Wembley Way, how fortunate have we been? This is the epitome of where you want to be and to celebrate, and can you then take the pain of getting beat week in, week out the next season? Hopefully your team can do as well as other ones have and stay up and then grow, like Brentford and Brighton are thriving in there now, so well done. Bournemouth have had a great season, so it is possible. But these two clubs are giants, aren't they, in football? The support they've got, they both wear the same colour. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite as good as this looking out there.
It's incredible. The sight, Darren Bent, absolutely amazing. You played in front of those Sunderland fans many times, and they do make a noise.
They're incredible. I mean, you look at their end, there's not a spare seat in the house. I mean, all waving their white and red flags, and that's one thing I always felt about playing up there. When they were behind Jay, there's no set of fans like it. They're loud, they get behind their team, they sing their song from start to finish. They don't feel the cold up there as well. The tops will be off, I'm sure, if they're doing well today as well. Yeah, they're incredible fans to play in front of, and I only spent 18 months up there, but it was some of the best 18 months I've played in my career. The goals were going in, had a really good relationship with the fans, and they'll be looking forward to this today. They'll be a little bit nervous, but they can't wait for this game to start.
Talk to me about, Darren, that midfield two of Joe Bellingham and Chris Rigg, 17 years old. Chris Rigg, it's a big responsibility on two young players playing for Sunderland today. Dan Neil, another one who's come through the academy, is in that midfield as well. These are big games for young players.
But you know what? I think it comes from the manager aid, because you look at Regis Labrie, he didn't have much experience before he got to the Championship this year, and then you look at Sunderland's average age this season as well. I think it's one of the youngest in the Championship, and I think that kind of confidence and that energy comes from the manager, and he's giving it to the likes of Bellingham. As you said there, Chris Rigg, who's had a fantastic season as well. They play with this real freedom and this real belief that they are good enough, and I mean, that would cap off for me an outstanding season, because I'm sure when people were picking teams that will go up this season, I don't think Sunderland would have been in it with the new manager, with the average age of the squad. The fact they find themselves now one game away of potentially getting promoted to the Premier League, not only does the player deserve a lot of credit, but so does the manager as well.
I think that's a great point. I wouldn't have, looking at it, I didn't have Sunderland in it, not in this race, so he's done a brilliant job. And to be fair, you can't find that much out about him. You know, his career has gone under the radar. He certainly won't if he wins today.
Absolutely right. I remember when he was appointed, and we're all looking at each other. We're all like, what on earth are Sunderland doing? And yet here they are. They've been confirmed in the playoffs for a long, long time. Can they get the job done and get into the Premier League? The fact, Ian, that, listen, you went up with Palace from 6th place as playoff winners. The fact that there's such a big difference in golf in points class between Sheffield United and Sunderland. Those who would say, listen, I don't want to lose this day. Look what we've got in front of us. You know, a full Wembley Stadium pretty much, and we've got a game with everything riding on it, where the winners are so happy, the losers have got to take that medicine. As the Sunderland flag is unfurled, the crest unfurled on the Wembley pitch in front of their fans, and they go even more wild. This is why we love this occasion. But such a big gulf in points between 3rd and 4th. There will be people who think it's just unfair if Sunderland do go up ahead of Sheffield United today.
Yeah, I would have been in that position myself years ago as a player, as a manager, looking at it. That's not fair. We've had 48 games, 46 games, whatever it is, whatever you're doing. But I wouldn't change this now. Having experienced them like I have, having won a couple, lost one, this is what it's all about. And those points don't matter out there today. I can tell you that now. It's all about, can you turn up, can you do it? And your fans, if and when you get promoted in this way, it is totally and utterly the best way to do it, because you'll never forget this day.
Well, I personally think winning the league is a better way, but
I've never done that, so I don't know.
I've never seen my team do it, so I don't know either, and I really want to see it. But I think that this is something very special. To win a playoff final.
Actually,
is so
I was part of a team for Bristol Rovers. We did win the league. We were champions, so that was special. But this is another level. This is something else.
And you know what? I think as a manager, and you can testify to this as well, I actually think it's a bigger test, because you've gone through a league season to get where you need to be in the playoffs, and then you've basically got to negotiate a cup tournament of 3 games, and if you get it right, you go up. So you're going to have to be a really good manager in the league, and then be a really good cup manager as well. It's a test of both strengths.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the strongest will survive. I just hope it's decided by a bit of skill, not a mistake. That is all I ever pray for. I don't, I was here a couple of years ago where Luton got promoted and somebody missed a penalty for Coventry. Heartbreaking. I didn't want it like that. It shouldn't be like that, because that fella might not ever get over that. But this is what I want, someone to step forward. Charlie Adam did it for me. Unbelievable. Brett Ormerod, on the day we were behind Gary Taylor Fletcher, they've gone down in Blackpool history for scoring those goals. So I hope someone bends one in from miles out, and we're all shouting about what a fantastic goal that deserves to be in the Premier League, because that's where they're going. One of these teams is going.
Premier League. Fankati Darbo was who missed for Coventry, then went to Forest Green, and Troy Deeney called him out because he wasn't playing particularly well.
Oh my God, Troy.
It was him, yeah.
was that him?
And actually, do you know what? The unfortunate thing with that day, Coventry were probably the better side. Gyökeres wasn't fit. Kushama had to go off injured, and so their 2 best attacking players weren't at full force, weren't at 100%, and Luton took full advantage. Listen, the history will tell you Luton won that playoff final on penalties, got into the Premier League, and they gave it a good crack as well. Big tifo in the Sunderland end that says we will fight till the end, and till the end has been the mantra for Sunderland this season. In the middle of that tifo is a black cat with the fangs.
Who's carried that in me? It's massive.
And the claws are out as well. They had one of those very similar ahead of the semi-final second leg at home to Coventry, and they just about got the job done there, as well as the teams come out as the Sheffield United crest to my left in front of their fans, the Sunderland crest to the right in front of their fans are being waved vigorously. The 2 teams come out, they walk past the gigantic oversized trophy right in front of them. It's a miniature version that is right in front of the giant one that they will be lifting up a little bit later on. Well, one captain will be lifting them up. They've come out, they're standing in their line in front of the red carpet, all the formalities to be done. We'll have the national anthem as well, if you can hear it above the noise in Wembley Stadium. The tifo goes away. What they do is, Ian, they bring it in the night before, so it's ready to unfurl.
Amazing.
It's a major operation, making the tifo, bringing it in as well, and unfurling it.
That's very impressive.
Some clubs have brilliant ones, others less so, but we won't mention which club had a really bad one this season. One of the problems, Chris Wilder, talk to me about Chris Wilder, because the 2-point deduction might have broken the spirit of a lot of managers and clubs. It seemed to spur him on. He's
a man on a mission, I can tell you. And throughout recent history, I think he's been one of the best managers that I've seen. Yes, it didn't when he went to other places, it didn't work, but him and Sheffield United, honestly, what a journey they've had. He did it before, he took them up 2 divisions, he kept them there, he got them to 9th, and then he lost his job. I'm glad he's back there. I wish him all the very best today, but I am completely sat on the fence with it, because you have to turn up today, and you've got to beat another. Aren't these 2 brilliantly supported football clubs that deserve to be in that top flight?
Well, there's passion there, there's no doubt about it.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. The people of Sunderland, every time I've been up there, they're absolutely incredible. And Sheffield United, wow. how lucky are you if you're a Sheffield person? You got Sheffield Wednesday and you got United, and they've all had a chance. I come from Bristol. We haven't had a team in the top flight forever. What's going on?
I saw a Sheffield United flag earlier. In the little corner it says, "We hate Wednesday." The Boomtown Rats hated Mondays.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Different routes to this final. Let's get the national anthem.
Save our gracious King, long live our noble King, God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save our King.
Well, Chris Wilder was belting that out. That is a proud Englishman, the Sheffield United manager. Look, there's two ways of looking at this game. If you're a football cynic, winning guarantees a season of pain and relegation. But if you have football in your soul, this is the game that gives the winner a chance to mix it with the big boys and challenge themselves to improve so much they stay up and establish themselves in the Premier League. Oh, and the winner gets a load of money as well. The Championship playoff final is one of the greatest days in the football calendar. It's live on Talksport. It's always live on Talksport, and we love it on Talksport. Winner goes up. It's Sheffield United against Sunderland, with your commentary team of double Championship playoff winner Ian Holloway, Talksport Drive King Darren Bent, and Sam Matterface.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Good afternoon, everyone. Wembley, where hope lives on despite for Sheffield United and Sunderland being the home of their broken dreams. Their experiences under the arch are not usually positive ones. Sunderland have won just one playoff final out of 5. Sheffield United have lost 4 playoff finals, 3 of them here. Chris Wilder has overseen 3 promotions as a manager. He's never gone up through the EFL playoffs. Sheffield United haven't won at Wembley since 1925. That was 100 years ago, and no one lives to tell that tale. Sunderland have won their last 2 visits to Wembley, but before that, they hadn't won any of their previous 7 trips to the stadium. Someone's heart will be broken again, and others will leap this afternoon. It's a game that means so much. It's a game that will resonate with both sets of supporters, but maybe more than ever, the Sheffield United fans. Former player George Baldock died just 4 months after leaving the club in October. He was promoted twice with Sheffield United, and his shirt hung in the dressing room here at Wembley today with his number 2 on the back. How they would love to pay tribute to him by landing a place in the big time. The Sheffield United team, 2 changes. Brewster and Campbell come in. Isidore, whose goal in the semi-final is only 1 in 15 appearances, drops to the bench for Sunderland. That's the big headline so far. They also make 2 changes, and the sunglasses semi-final celebrator, Romain Mundell, is in. Referee Chris Kavanagh. There is VAR with John Brooks, and there is semi-automated offside technology to keep us on track. That will be different for both sets of players. Sheffield United, who just walked to their end and pay tribute to their supporters who have come to support them here today. Certainly the Sunderland end is far more packed than the Sheffield United one, and they stand in a huddle away to our right-hand side. This is the last big Wembley weekend before the summer concert season takes up residence here. Oasis, Linkin Park, Lana Del Rey and Dua Lipa are about to grace this wonderful, steep, 3-tiered bowl with its red seats and sparkling arch. But first, the richest game in football. Who will be the one? The Champions League places in the Premier League will be sorted tomorrow, and alongside the League One playoff final, we have a thrilling menu of football on the Talksport network. It is the place to be, and at the business end of the season, with the playoffs and the European finals and all the major domestic finals as well, it's the only place to be. It is Talksport. The former Sunderland and Tottenham and England striker Darren Bent is here, and so is the Swindon boss, miracle worker Ian Holloway, in the commentary box for an amazing evening. Both of you experienced different occasions like this before. You've both been at Wembley before. Ian, what are you thinking moments before kickoff?
You're just hoping that the team doesn't freeze, they remember what they're doing and they get back to just playing football, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. You've got all your family, everybody who's ever known you's coming, and millions of people are watching on the telly, and you've got a chance to play in the top league in the world. So if you can put all that behind you and just get on with your game, you're fine.
I just try and remember exactly what's got me to this occasion. The goals, the movement. Certainly if I'm a player on the pitch as well, you're just thinking to yourself, we've got here for a reason. We've been one of the best teams in the Championship this season. It's just about one more game. Don't overthink it. Do what you've been doing all season. Hopefully today that should be good enough to get you over the line.
This season's Championship playoff final kicks off at 3:01 p.m. This is to raise awareness of the Every Minute Matters campaign, which has seen over 300,000 people learn CPR, which takes just 15 minutes to learn via the British Heart Foundation Reviver tool. Tom Lockyer, who collapsed at a playoff final 2 years ago here when we were here at Wembley, has been promoting that campaign for the last 2 years, and he is here today. We're off and underway with Sheffield United in red and white jerseys, black shorts, their traditional colours. It's a changed kit for Sunderland, all in white with green and dark blue sleeves, very similar to the kit that they wore at Wembley in 1992 when they lost the FA Cup final to Liverpool. The two teams, Michael Cooper is the goalkeeper for Sheffield United, the back four is Chowdhury, Amahodzic, Robinson and Burrows, and then the midfield duo of D'Souza and Peck will be important for Chris Wilder's team. Harmer plays in the 10. Brewster and Campbell support Kiefer Moore in attack. For Sunderland, Anthony Patterson is their goalkeeper, who's just away to our right-hand side and been put under a little bit of pressure. Trey Hume, Ballard, O'Nien and Cirk in the back four. Dan O'Neill, Dan Neal and Bellingham in the middle of the park, with Rigg, the youngest player to start a Championship final, behind Mayenda, Mundell and Lefay on the flanks. The ball played forward down the Sheffield United left. It's been picked up by Harmer, who immediately looks for more in the centre, gets a header in on goal. It's a brilliant save down to his left by Patterson. A super stop by the Sunderland goalkeeper. Harmer pulling the strings once again across from the left-hand side, perfectly weighted up to Kiefer Moore. And he's looking for his third promotion in 4 years, and he almost got Sheffield United off to the perfect start, Darren Bent.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unbelievable save from Anthony Patterson, but I mean, it's a great header from Kiefer Moore, because he just pulls off behind the defender and just tries to use the pace in the cross. And I think that's the only thing that stops him from scoring, because he tries to glance it back, obviously, into that far corner. But I think because he's had to generate the power and just kind of let it come off his head, he can't quite direct it as much as he'd probably like to. But from Patterson, it's a fantastic save down to his left.
Dan Ballard has suffered with a head injury during that. We're down to Alex Crook in just a second, but Ian Holloway, if you're going to win a playoff final, you need your goalkeeper to have a brilliant game, and that was a super stop.
It almost looked like it was past him. He managed to reach out, stretch behind him and pull it out the back of the net. Well done. Great header. Fantastic to see the ball crossed. You know, Benting will be going mad. Some of the football you see these days, they get out wide and they pull it back, get the ball in the box, and that's what it's all about. He looks hurt here, Ballard. I don't know what happened.
Well, let's get down to the touchline and speak to our touchline reporter who's behind the dugouts, Chief Football Correspondent Alex Crook.
I think it's a shoulder injury, Sam, as opposed to a head issue for Dan Ballard. He went up with Kiefer Moore to try and block the header and maybe has landed awkwardly. He's just holding his left arm, and Dan Neal, the Sunderland captain, came over to Regis Labrie, the manager, and pointed to his shoulder. So there could be a real early blow for Sunderland. What a start for Sheffield United. And just looking at the two managers in their respective attire, Chris Wilder, very relaxed, black jumper, he's got dark trousers on, a pair of trainers. Regis Labrie is suited and booted, he's got a shirt and tie, so maybe that's a reflection of how the two managers are feeling. And I spoke to Chris Wilder before the game. He was very positive. He said, we've had a good couple of weeks. We're very focused. We know it's going to be a tough game, but we're in good shape. That was Chris Wilder before kickoff.
Interestingly, Ballard has got up and moved on after his collision with Moore, who both went up for the header. And actually, the shoulder problem is for Luke O'Nien, who's gone down and is struggling with pain.
Yeah, it was Kiefer Moore pulled into it was good movement from Kiefer Moore because he pulls between Ballard and O'Nien and just used O'Nien, his body, just to get himself up really early. As you can see here, it gets in between them, and it's a really, really good header. But when you've got someone like Kiefer Moore, son, you have to use him. You have to use him. There's no point in getting the ball wide and not putting the ball in the box. And you've seen it there. We're in the first couple of minutes of the game. The first thing Gustavo Hamer does is look up, and it's not even a whip. He just clips it into the area, into a really good area of the box. Kiefer Moore pulls off, heads it down, and it's a fantastic save.
I was talking to Luke O'Nien a little bit earlier on today. He was standing with his wife Georgia and his 2 children. His little girl said to him, "Daddy, really going to play on that pitch?" And he said, "Yeah, in about an hour I am, but he might not last longer than 4 minutes."
I hope it's not as bad as it looks. He's a wonderful fella, so combative, so competitive for a fellow who's not the biggest centre half, is he?
No, he isn't actually. And when I was standing talking to him a little bit earlier on, that was the thing that struck me more than anything else. The fact that he didn't start as a centre back. He's moved in there, but he's played in 45 of the 46 games of this season, and he's got amazing experience for Sunderland. He's been around for a long time. In fact, he has played twice in the playoffs already. One defeat to Charlton in 2019 and a successful one in 2022. They'll need his experience because there's not much of it in that team.
Such a brilliant organiser. Don't stop talking. So the last person on earth they're going to want to lose here is him.
They do have Chris Mepham on the bench.
Do you know what, Sam? From a Sheffield United perspective, you never want to see anyone go down with injury. That's just, you don't like to see it. But if you're Sheffield United and you're Chris Wilder, you're looking at how easy Kiefer Moore got himself into that position and got an attempt on goal. I'd be saying to my midfield players, every single time you get anywhere around that box, put the ball into the box with quality. But Kiefer Moore, he looks like he's got the beating of the 2 centre-halves. O'Nien, unfortunately, looks like he's going to have to come off. But it was just so comfortable for Sheffield United to get that opportunity that you have to continue to do that.
Alex Crook, he is absolutely distraught behind the goal. He is definitely not going to be able to continue.
No, the good news is he is walking off because there was a stretcher out there, but it looks at a real bad injury, this. And as you say, you can see how upset Luke O'Nien is. Chris Mepham has been being readied for the last couple of minutes. He just put the shin pads on. He's stripping off now his tracksuit top as I speak. He's been getting words of instruction from members of the Sunderland backroom team and pats on the back from his fellow substitutes. So the worst possible start as far as Sunderland are concerned. And Chris Mepham, of course, is on loan from Bournemouth, so he's going to be up against his former teammate Kiefer Moore. They were part of the Cherry side that won promotion to the Premier League under Scott Parker. An interesting subplot, that particular battle.
Isn't it funny how these things work out? The 2 former Cherries going up against each other at Wembley. And they would have trained together very recently, and they'll know each other's games inside out. And I just wonder what Kiefer Moore is thinking, whether or not he thinks now, oh great, I've got Chris Mepham, I know exactly how to play him, or, oh great, he knows exactly how to play me. Up it goes to Moore again, heads it down into Brewster. Brewster tries to turn around the corner, and it's picked up on this right hand side by Campbell. Campbell towards the right touchline. Chowdhury with a cross into the box. Campbell doesn't get there. It's collected on this right side by Sidney Peck. He guides it all the way back to halfway, and Mahozic will leave it for Jack Robinson, the captain. Out towards the left-hand side, and Harrison Burrows, who goes sprinting in the inside left channel, looking for the return ball. He gets hold of it, Burrows, his cross into the box. It's been attacked by Brewster, heading away, comes back out to Harmer, who strikes it, takes a double deflection, and is eventually cleared by Sunderland. But Sheffield United haven't been thwarted by that 5-minute delay. They've started with their foot to the floor, Darren Ben.
Yeah, they're getting the ball into wide areas. I mean, Hamza Chowdhury on this side here got down the line and put in a really good ball. He's linking really well with Brewster on this right hand side as well, but it just looks like every single time
Brewster has dropped deep, and Campbell has picked it up inside the penalty area and then tried to send it into Harmer, and it was missed not only by Harmer eventually, but Trey Hume allowed that to go under his feet. Eventually the assistant on this near side puts his flag up, because I think it was an obvious offside against Tyrese Campbell, but we have VAR here today, not something that's usual in the Championship obviously, and as a result of that there was a delay to the flag. The substitution's been made, O'Nien off, Mepham on.
How annoying is that, where you have to wait the linesman's going to put his arm up? It was obvious it was offside. I'm starting to doubt myself there. Hang on a minute, is he going to... God, dude, just do it. So annoying sometimes.
Two pessimistic fan bases. A few people were suggesting that they weren't going to even come to the game. I was talking to a few Sunderland fans, said, no, I've put myself through that too many times, I'm not doing it again. Well, there are quite a few people that are putting themselves through it all over again, and it's going to be a dramatic afternoon, you feel. Sheffield United look well primed in the playoffs. It was a harder task over 2 legs for Sunderland, who needed last moment drama to get over the line against Coventry. We've already had drama in the first few moments here with the substitution of Lukanine, one of the longest serving players for Sunderland. Ball cleared away by the Sunderland backline, picked up now by Trey Hume, one of the fans' favourites, clips the ball down the touchline, away by Chowdhury, then funneled further clear by Peck. Sidney Peck can't quite find Campbell, but Harmer is in there very quickly to win the ball ahead of Joe Bellingham. There's a bit of pushing and shoving in the middle of the park. Vinny Souza is penalised for being over-aggressive, and now the ball spread wide by Dan Neil in towards that right-hand side. Rigg taking it over and then touching it back again into midfield, and Lefay, who looks as if he's playing more centrally today, in behind Mayenda, with Chris Rigg playing out on that right-hand side. When Rigg has played, he has been playing more of a sort of number 10 role recently, and he's got the ball now on that right-hand side. He collects it, turns it back out towards the other side, and then looks for the return. It comes in towards Lefay, but it's overhit, and it'll be guided back to the goalkeeper by Jack Robinson. 0-0.
Yeah, it's important, I think, for Sunderland to try and keep possession. Certainly this first early parts of the game where Sheffield United have started incredibly fast.
Getting the ball again, he's bussing around everywhere, and he's physical too, and then the ball's been won left side by Harrison Burrows, who was fouled, and that's going to be a free kick. And Trey Hume just getting a little bit overexcited and diving into a challenge which maybe he might not have won. And Rigg was back there too, and the referee Chris Kavanagh gives the free kick in Sheffield United's favour. It's been a bright start by them, Ian Holloway.
Yeah, they picked up their rhythm. They look really confident. Their manager looks really relaxed. He's not got a suit and tie on. It's another day at the office for him by the look of it.
Moore heads the ball on, and again, once more, he gets the jump on the central defenders of Sunderland, and that's going to be a tale of the tape, I think. And what they're trying to do, Darren Bent, is get it up to him as quick as possible, and then look for the flick-ons and the knockdowns, and Brewster and Campbell are getting around it.
Yes, it's going to be really important, certainly when Kiefer Moore goes up, that the likes of, you've got Chris Meppen, you've got Ballard, they're going to have to kind of cover. Whoever goes up, one's going to have to drop, because the first 3 that's gone up to him, he's won every single one. And then you've got the likes of Tyrese Campbell trying to run in behind, Rhian Brewster coming in off his right-hand side. It's an obvious way of playing, but it's so effective.
Well, it's a bit 4-2-4-ish, isn't it, from Sheffield United, with Brewster on the right-hand side and Harmer on the left. Both of them like to travel infield to make up extra numbers in the centre, but actually it really is down to Peck and Souza to get through the work in the middle of the park. And actually, when you look at Sunderland, they're a bit 4-4-2 really, with the way that they've shaped up today.
Yeah, I mean, Sheffield United, it's almost like a 3 when they're out of possession, and Rhian Brewster almost becomes a right wing-back. But then in possession, it's like Hamza comes over and becomes a predominantly right back, and Brewster goes into that right midfield shape. So it's really good what they're doing. Whereas Sunderland in that 4-4-2, out of possession, it's almost like a 4-5-1, as you can see here. They're almost leaving Mayenda up there on his own, and everyone else is getting back into shape.
Well, it's still goalless. You're listening to Talksport, the playoff final live at Wembley Stadium with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points, 18 plus, and participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms and conditions apply. See mcdonalds.com. A little bit later on, we've got another big bout for you Saturday night. Talksport brings you live boxing commentary. Josh Taylor faces Eku Essuman at Glasgow's Hydro Arena. That's Josh Taylor against Eku Essuman. Saturday night tonight, 8 o'clock. Talksport and the Talksport YouTube boxing channel. We're underway here, and we've had a entertaining first 12 and a half minutes. Chowdhury just causing a few problems there by getting into Romain Mundle, and then Chowdhury again winning the ball high up on this right-hand side. And Dennis Serkin has gone down there. Chowdhury is penalised for a foul. He looks as if
I'm
Holloway
not sure
wanted it
about
more.
that. I'm telling you, he looked like he wanted it more. The lad was trying to let it run out. He's got there. I think that's not a foul. He's given it, so I'm talking rubbish. But for me, on that touchline, I'm going mad about that.
There's Lee Betts on this near side, the official who has given that. He flagged very quickly, but a little bit surprised that was awarded in Sunderland's favour. Patterson will clear upfield. 14 clean sheets in 44 appearances, and he's had the moment of the game so far with a save down to his left-hand side. He played here in 2022 in the League One playoff final, kept a clean sheet that day as well for Sunderland, and he's kicked it long. Ballard now, who sends it even further up the pitch, being chased down over on that right-hand side by Mayenda, who actually was really important in the game on New Year's Day between these two. 9 goals this season, 5 of them have come against a Sheffield-based club. 4 goals against Wednesday and 1 against United.
I think so far, Sam, I think Chris Wilder's his tactics of he's stopping them get the ball by pushing 2 up front, and he's moving his number 10 out wide to the left, so they can't get a rhythm of their passing. I think he's on top at the moment.
Peck heads it forward, almost forwards to Kiefer Moore, 5 yards back from the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. It's worked out wide to Peck again. His right-footed cross is blocked by Circuit, but won very quickly on this near touchline by Brewster, who tries to clip it in. There's a stumble by Bellingham. It falls to Campbell inside the box. He tries to turn and shoot. It's blocked, and it's cleared away. And it was only the placement of Dan Neil that stopped it from heading towards goal, but they got a little bit lucky there, Sunderland, because there was a slip inside the penalty area by Bellingham, which almost opened things up for Sheffield United. 0-0.
It's so evident as well, when Sheffield United go long into Kiefer Moore and they go direct, it doesn't even have to be the best ball, but he's up there, he's big body, he's getting his body in, he's getting the knockdowns, and Sheffield United, to be fair, Tyrese Campbell, Peck, they're picking up the second balls, and it's causing Sunderland a problem. I think from a Sunderland perspective though, I'd like them to go maybe a little bit more direct and use the pace of Mayenda or Mundell, because at the minute everything's to feet and they can't really get out, and then once they do get good possession, then look to maybe just feed it in behind and use that pace.
Well, Dan Ballard's goal was described by Sun in the North East as the best moment in the 28-year history of the Stadium of Light, but what they have to do is build on that. What do you think? It was the beach ball?
Correct.
Ball cleared by Patterson. Michael Cooper, by the way, at the other end of the pitch, the very impressive Sheffield United goalkeeper who they got from Plymouth earlier in the campaign. I don't think he's touched the ball yet. He's just an interested spectator. Ball back to Amahodzic. Then to the left and Robinson, who's 15 yards inside his own territory. Out wide to Harrison Burrows, who they got from Peterborough, and he's made a healthy contribution. Goals and assists are plenty from left back, but only 1 goal in the last 19. He holds the width perfectly though and fits into the system well. Flick on by Moore as the ball goes cross field. Poor header by Sirkin. It's going to fall to Campbell nicely. He keeps it alive. Peck wants to get it back to Moore, but it was too close to Mepham, who intervened on the edge of the penalty area, and it's played infield, and then Harmer getting back to help out his defence puts Neil under pressure, but the ball runs through to Rigg just before the halfway line for Sunderland, and those white shirts with green and dark blue sleeves. Back into Bellingham halfway all the way to Mepham, and Mepham, who's had to get into the game very quickly after coming off the bench in the first 4 minutes, gives it to Bellingham, who went to try a trick, then decided against the Rabona ball forward and plays it out to the left-hand side. Mundell with a cross, blocked by Chowdhury, and it goes out for the first corner of the game to Sunderland.
Yeah, I like that really good play there from Bellingham, getting on the half turn and driving it and giving it to Mundell early and letting him have a go at Hamza Chowdhury. We know by trade Hamza is a centre midfield player. He's played there a lot at right back, of course, but it's not his natural position. If you can get the ball to Mundell out wide, let him go and have a go, and he goes past him, tries to get the cross in, but it was really good defending in the end.
I think Rigg did well there. He came out of his 10 roll, went back past the midfield, got it and helped him build. He's realised already that he can't get it in his normal position because of what Sunderland are doing. So great chance. Here's the corner from the near side. The lefters, Sunderland look at it. It's right-footed in towards the far post and caught by Cooper. The delivery from Enzo Lefebvre was immediately snatched and immediately bowled out to Vinny Souza, who's bounding forward, a buccaneering run to halfway for Sheffield United, getting up the pitch and out of defence and into attack very quickly. And they've had very little trouble to worry about defensively so far, Sheffield United. Here is Rigg though, winning the ball over on the far side, but he's taken it out of play. It's going to be a throw-in over on the far touchline. We played just over 18 minutes. You're listening to Talksport.
Do you know what? D'Souza's let him off there because he does really well initially and he drives with the ball. If he'd just got his head up a little bit earlier, Hamer had made a really good run in that inside left channel there, and he busted gut to get up. Just a little switch in and he was 1v1. I think it was with Hume, but Unfortunately, obviously, ran out of gas, but I do like the way Sheffield United have started this game. Direct, they're playing to their strengths, they're causing Sunderland the problem. We haven't quite seen Sunderland get going yet.
And Gustavo Harmer, who suffered heartbreak in that 2023 playoff final with Coventry, scored in that final but was substituted early in that final because of an injury, is determined. He looks determined to make up for that today. He's bustling around, having an influence already. He's created the best chance for Kiefer Moore, who's been stopped by Patterson. Ball down the right by Brewster, looking for the run of Tyrese Campbell. He's not going to get there. It's going to run through to Patterson, and Sunderland will be able to clear. 0-0, you're listening to Talksport live on a Saturday afternoon. The richest game in football, they call it, the Championship playoff final for the right to be in the Premier League next season. Sheffield United fans recognise that their form wasn't great going into the playoffs, but those 2 wins in the playoffs really settled the nerves, raised the morale, benefited from the sending off against Bristol City, but the mood amongst the players has been lifted as a result of that performance against Bristol City over 2 legs. And after missing out on automatic promotion, sometimes you can take a bit of a hit, can't you, morale-wise, and your optimism can be dented, Ian?
Yes, you can, and I don't think Sheffield United have, and that's full credit to Alan Neil and Chris. What they're doing, they're just doing their jobs, and over the last couple of minutes, Sunderland have settled down to it a little bit. I think obviously getting 09 off as well was a bit of a big shake-up, so hopefully we'll get the game that we want, but at this minute in time, Sheffield United are much more comfortable. Their manager will be much more happy and more relaxed.
Ball thrown in by Chowdhury up towards Tyrese Campbell. It's collected by Bellingham in midfield, who's under pressure, and he was pushed in the back by Vinny Souza midway inside his own half, and that generates a free kick for Sunderland. And Sunderland, who started the season after a lot of pre-season drilling with a rigid structure, they now sort of play, if you look at their average positions, a sort of 4-3-3 with 2 8s and a single pivot in Dan Neil, the captain and local boy. Labrise is very big on sort of triangles. Full-back winger, number 8. I think he likes the number 6 to be the glue in that. It's all about triangles all over the park. He constantly barks on about it, but they haven't been able to get their passing game going so far today. Not yet anyway.
They just started to, I think, Sam. They're just starting to get a little bit of rhythm.
Well, let's see if they can produce something here as the ball is sent down the right-hand side by Ballard. It's too heavy and it runs out of play and goes away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. But it's about time they started, because we played 21 minutes, 0-0. And they obviously knew that the game was kicking off a little bit later than usual.
Sometimes the opposition manager doesn't give you the time and the space that you need to do your normal stuff. And I could tell that Sheffield United have done their own work and made sure that the 2 centre-halves haven't got time on it, so they've managed to work out how to get out of that at the moment. So that's what I mean by that. Sometimes, and being so young, they're not going to know that straight away.
That's what I was going to mention to you. The other fact is that you've got a lot of youngsters in that team that maybe will take a little bit of time to settle to the Wembley environment as well.
Yeah, again, with the played this season with that real freedom, that real belief, certainly all season, which is why they found themselves in this position. But I do wonder from Regis Labri's perspective, if he's looking at the start of this game, and yes, it's only 20 minutes in, so it's still early. If he's looking at that Isidore decision and going, because with Wilson Isidore, he could play a bit more direct.
Campbell coming out towards the left-hand side. Patterson comes racing out of his goal and gets to the right full-back position as the long ball goes down the left touchline. The offside flag is up against Campbell anyway, and it's cleared out of play over on the far side. Yeah,
as I was saying, with Isidore, he's big, he's powerfully strong, he can hold the ball as well, and I'm not quite sure how comfortable Mayenda, because he looks like he's the one that's playing obviously as high up as he can as that focal point. He doesn't look as comfortable as we've seen him in previous games, when he can come off one of the flanks or maybe even playing that number 10 role. So I wonder if that's something that Regis Labri's looking at.
Indeed. With the vast riches at stake, playoff finals are often cagey. No team has scored more than 1 goal in this fixture since 2021. They have been just 16 goals in the last 10 years of the Championship playoff finals. Sheffield United did finish 3rd But once they knew on Easter Monday the game was up, they backed off a bit. The dip started probably a little bit before that. They lost 4 of the last 9, but they have won 12 of the last 19. Here's Mayenda trying to burst into the penalty area. He's travelled a long way with the ball. He's gone very far, in fact, right up to the edge of the 6-yard box before Robinson came across, shepherded him out on the right-hand side and had to put it behind, eventually via Harrison Burrows, and out for another corner to Sunderland.
I like that. He made it himself. He came off, he got it, he turned, got round down the outside of the centre-back, and that's what we expect him to do. Like Darren was saying just now, he's finally woke up. Honestly. No, it's not ours. Well, he's a match winner, you know, absolute match winner. And they certainly need him today.
Here is the corner over on the far side. Mepham stacked at the back post. Joe Bellingham is there too. Ballard, who knows how to score a goal from a set piece, manages to sort of try and engineer a bit of space. Can he get to the front post and do that flick on with Pike like he did at the end of the second leg of the semi-final? It's a short one into Rigg, who sets it back towards Le Fay. It's in towards the near post, but Brewster is there to head it away on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Harmer has got the speed to outpace Mepham, and he's run up to halfway. He's nabbed the ball. He's got Campbell going through the centre. He's picked him out. It's Tyrese Campbell. It's a wonderful counter-attacking Sheffield United goal. It's a blockbuster goal on what could be a defining afternoon. Chris Wilder celebrates down the touchline. Gustavo Harmer, who suffered heartbreak 2 years ago, has orchestrated a brilliant goal, finished off by Tyrese Campbell, and Sheffield United lead by a goal to 0.
It is a fantastic finish from Tyrese Campbell, but let's take nothing away from Gustavo Harmer. He sprints 60, 70 yards. Chris Mepham looks like he's running in quicksand. He goes past him, and at that very last minute, he sees Tyrese Campbell, who's sprinting himself 60, 70 yards, and it's the composure at the end. It's can he get that first touch right? He manages to do it. It's a Sunderland corner. They break the full length of the pitch. It's can he get that first touch right, Tyrese Campbell? And he manages to do it. He looks like a 100-metre sprinter getting up there, but once that first touch goes onto that left-hand side, he waits for the goalkeeper to go down, and he just lifts it into that far corner. I mean, it's a fantastic finish from Tyrese Campbell, but it's all about Gustavo Harmer, who shows that desire, that hunger to sprint 60 yards, to run away from Chris Mepham. It is such a composed finish, though, from Tyrese Campbell. Fantastic goal from Sheffield United.
Oh, Tyrese Campbell, Dad would have been proud of that.
Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. But I'm going back to Harmer. You know what? I didn't know he had that. I was shocked at the pace that he showed there. And the pass to make sure he got it the right way with the outside of his right foot to leave that for Campbell. Wonderful, wonderful goal. That's what they look like against Bristol City. They can play and they can also counter-attack. That was fantastic.
Absolutely terrific goal from Tyrese Campbell. Brilliant finish. But what a run from Gustavo Harmer. And no wonder Chris Wilder celebrated down the touchline. He knows just how important scoring the first goal is and getting in front. Let's go down to the touchline and see what the reaction on the benches was from Talksport's Alex Crook.
Well, I can tell you the reaction on the Sheffield United bench, I'm in the first row behind it, was one of absolute euphoria. All the backroom staff, all the subs were hugging each other. As you say, Chris Wilder celebrated almost on his own on the edge of his technical area. Then he regained his composure, just took a little drink of water. Chris Wilder sat himself back down on the bench. He knows there's a long way to go in this game, but what a start for his team. And just a word for Luke O'Nien as well, the Sunderland man, forced off early through injury. Lovely moment as he was embraced by his partner and his young child.
Ball in towards Mayenda on the edge of the area. He heads it over the top of the crossbar. Well, what a cross that was from the right-hand side. It was played in from Trey Hume right into the edge of the 6-yard box, and for the first time they just switched off a little bit there, Sheffield United. Mayenda got up well and headed the ball over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, it's a really good cross, and to be fair, it looks to me like he goes up a little bit too early. So when he heads the ball, he's on the way down, and that's why it goes over the bar. But I mean, the finish, Sam, from Tyrese Campbell, what makes that finish so special is that I've been there. When you've had to sprint 60, 70 yards and there's nothing left in the tank, is can you slow yourself down enough to show that composure and hit the target with a finish? And that really does that. His first touch is perfect. And then again, to show that double bit of composure when the goalkeeper goes down to just lift it. What a finish that is.
Terrific. And his dad, our friend Kevin Campbell, who passed away last June, will be watching down on him and keeping an eye on his progress, I'm sure. He was a Wembley finalist himself in 1993, twice actually in the FA Cup and in the League Cup final. And Tyrese Campbell has scored the opening goal here at Wembley on this pivotal afternoon. It's all over in the Test match. Here is Sam Ellard.
Zimbabwe have been bowled out for 255, so England have beaten Zimbabwe by an innings and 45 runs. Zimbabwe in their second innings bowled out for 255. Shoaib Bashir with 6 for 81, a wicket apiece for Atkinson, Tongue and Stokes. England kick off their summer beating Zimbabwe by an innings and 45 runs.
Did worry if Sunderland were going to struggle a little bit today. Their form has been a little stilted. They realised their promotion hopes would rest on the playoffs from a long way out. And that's contributed to just 1 win in 8 games, only 3 in the last 12. They did have a little bit of a meeting, addressed the fact that a last-minute goal at Leeds had knocked the wind out of their sails and went again, but it's difficult to turn it on and turn it back off again.
You're 100% spot on, Sam, because they almost floated in that no man's land, didn't they, for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I thought that was why their performance against Coventry, I know they got to the final, was a little bit flat because of that reason there, where they just kind of, as players, unfortunately, as psychologically sometimes you switch off. You don't mean to, but you just switch off because you think, well, we know we're in the playoffs, but it's can you then switch it back on again? And at times it can be incredibly difficult.
I think the age is the problem. Having such a young squad, it really is a big ask. You need a couple of senior ones in and amongst your mix to get over these problems when it goes wrong. They're great when it is. Hang on, here he goes.
Yeah, Mundell's picked it up after bouncing back from a challenge on this near touchline, in which he basically went to ground and claimed that he should have had a foul. When he realised he wasn't getting it, he sprung back up and into life, and then darted down the left-hand side after pinching the ball from the blind side of Chowdhury. Chowdhury then got back at him, committed a foul, Mundell on Chowdhury, and it's a free kick in the right full-back position for Sheffield United, who do lead by that goal from Tyrese Campbell by 1-0. What a finish.
Do you know what I like from Hamza Chowdhury at the minute? He's really aggressive with Romain Mundell, and at the minute Mundell doesn't like it. He doesn't fancy the 1-to-1 battle. Every single time Mundell's coming off and getting the ball to feet, we've got Hamza Chowdhury behind him, kicking him, putting pressure on him, making it uncomfortable for him. At some point Mundell's going to have to take the ball, even with the pressure behind him, and try and make something happen, because at the minute Chowdhury's got him.
And also the fluid way with which Sheffield United are playing, where they've deployed a certain number to defend and a certain number to attack, means that they're just switching across and moving in unison so well. So if Burrows needs to tuck in and come in as the 3 so that Chowdhury can deal with Mundell, it shuts off the route this side. And then if they need to slide across and Chowdhury goes into a 3 and Burrows goes a little bit further up to keep tabs on Rigg, then that's working for them too at the moment.
Well, then that's where they're going to have to be a little bit clever, a little bit cuter. Even if Mundell for 5 minutes goes and swaps with Lafitte and just gets into that little pocket of space where he's not got his back to the touchline, they're going to have to change something up, because at the minute it's a little bit too predictable from Sunderland.
It's 1-0 to Sheffield United, and it's live on Talksport. And the ball has been sent out wide towards Trey Hume, who's got up from right back. He gets to the byline, pulls it across into Rigg inside the penalty area, cuts across the defender, tries to centre it. It's blocked by Harmers back there helping out, and it goes behind. I think there was a clearance by Robinson that kept it from going out for a corner, and it goes out for a throw-in level with the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area over on the far side. The whole stadium is red and white today. Obviously both these two teams would love to be playing in red and white striped jerseys, but that's not possible. So Sunderland in their away kit, but a lot of their fans who are wearing that kit today are also decked out in the red and white stripes away to our right hand side. They've got the west end of the ground, the east end away to our left hand side, populated by the Sheffield United supporters, and as walking through them all earlier on today, and there was an air of trepidation, I think, amongst both of them, because their Wembley experiences haven't been necessarily positive. But I think Sheffield United felt that this could be their time. They're leading by 1-0, and they always score. And they've notched now in 8 straight games. Down the left-hand side, Mundell trying to take on Chowdhury again. But Chowdhury, who's had his measure in the opening 32 minutes, sees the ball out for a goal.
I agree with Darren. He's been outstanding so far. Obviously quieting Mundell down. I don't know whether he was ready to play against him, but he's won that battle. And I think Sheffield United have at the moment tactically. They can do what they need to do really well, and when the opponent gets it, they know they have a plan to stop them playing. And at the minute, it's far too comfortable for Sheffield United.
So They're leading by a goal to nil. And the amazing thing was the way they broke so quickly. When you think that the ball went into the net 12 seconds after the initial header from the corner. So as the corner is cleared, it's 12 seconds between that action and Campbell putting the ball in the back of the net. They have a corner of their own here.
Well, I used to do runs with all my teams, and Danny Shitu was the quickest I ever had, from 18-yard box to 18-yard box.
Wow, he was scary.
Back. He was unbelievable, and he would struggle to get there in that time.
It was an amazing turn of pace by Gustavo Harmer, which opened the pitch up and then caused problems. He's taking the corner now, right-footed in towards the near post. It's headed away by Ballard. Comes back out to the edge of the box, and it's whacked in by Harrison Burrows. It's a superb goal by the left-back from the edge of the penalty area. The ball cleared from the corner. It's fallen to Harrison Burrows. He scored twice at Wembley for Peterborough in the EFL Trophy final last April, and he's rekindled his love affair with the grand old stadium again. He's put Sheffield United into a 2-goal lead with an exquisite strike.
Yeah, it's a great goal. I mean, I think the goalkeeper's slightly unsighted, which is why he can't get down to make the save, but I mean, take nothing away from Burrows. It's a really, really good strike. First of all, the ball in from Harmer's a really good run into a good area. Sunderland deal with it quite well, but I mean, he absolutely volleys it, and it's a great finish. It goes through the bodies. There might be a slight offside to it, but take nothing away from the goal. I mean, you hit the target from there, or you can hope that it goes in. I mean, it's not the cleanest of strikes, but it finds its way in because it goes through so many bodies.
Jack Robinson may have got a little touch on that, maybe not, but there was Vinny Souza standing in front of the goalkeeper in an offside position, so there will be an EFL VAR call for the first time this season. And was Vinny Souza offside here as he runs in front of the goalkeeper? Because he was certainly standing in an offside position as the ball came in. Does that distract him?
Yeah. Was he impeding the goalie?
Robinson wasn't. Robinson doesn't impede him, but does Souza? That's the big question. The referee says yes, he's going to have a look at the monitor, and usually that means that they're going to overturn the decision and it will remain 1-0. However, I think it's a subjective call, actually, as to whether Souza is interfering with play here. Does he prevent the goalkeeper from playing the ball? Does he affect his decision-making?
If I'm looking at it now and the chance that I've had to see this, I would be disappointed if they don't cancel it out.
What do you think, Darren Bent?
Well, at the minute, the goalkeeper looks like he's got a clear sight to the ball. I know there's a defender next to him, but if you look at the goalkeeper's position in this image, he can quite clearly see where the ball is. There's no one standing in front of him. It's only last minute when he steps across, that's when he can't get to it.
Yeah, I think he's gone across him and that's affected his vision. I don't think.
Is he stopping him from being able to dive into that area? That is the question, because Souza sort of moves towards him after the ball's been hit. But if he's stopping him from being able to dive to his left, then he will rule out the goal here. He's about to make an announcement and tell us what the situation is. The goal has been ruled out because Vinny Souza was standing in the line of sight of the goalkeeper, and that is why he has ruled out the goal. I think he said something like that anyway. He said in the line of the goalkeeper, so certainly he believes,
yeah, I think that's correct,
that he was interfering with play, and that second goal has been scrubbed out. And Harrison Burrows, who thought he'd scored again at Wembley, has no longer got his strike.
There's nothing worse than when you have a goal chalked off for offside. It's like a horrible feeling to your stomach, and it was a really good goal, but that might just be the situation that wakes up Sunderland, because so far they've had moments but not really been able to string too many passes together and create too many opportunities.
Well, that's what they've got to do, isn't it, Ian Holloway? Use it as a turning point.
That is exactly what they need to do. It's gone against them so far. The keeper made a great save. Good job he did. Centre half's gone off, but that is a massive get out of jail free card.
Right, well, let's see how
things manoeuvre from here, because we played 37 minutes. We'll have a lot of added time at the end of the first half. Let's go down to the bench and Alex Crook on how Chris Wilder reacted to that, because these two teams, I mean, Chris is more used to it than others because he's managing the Premier League, but VAR being used here for the first time this season for both these clubs.
Well, I'm not sure he's in favour of it this afternoon, Sam. He waved a dismissive right arm when that decision was announced on the tannoy, but I think he knew it was coming, Chris Wilder. He let out a little grimace as the referee started to walk over to the monitor, and Regis Labrie, his opposite number, he made the television symbol to his bench even before the ref started walking over. He was quite confident it would be chalked off.
Rigg getting the ball back into the centre of defence, and Mepham finds Ballard, who sweeps it towards the left for Sunderland. He's on the left side of the box now, travelling up against Brewster, cutting infield, giving it to Joe Bellingham. Bellingham releasing the ball out towards Rigg again. Rigg produces a cross into the box, an overhead kick attempt by Rigg doesn't quite come off, and it's into the arms of Cooper, and he will be able to clear.
I think Darren summed it up. The difference between the two teams at the minute is lack of aggression, a lack of forcefulness from Sunderland. You know, everything Sheffield United are doing, they're tackling, they're pressing, they're passing for real, they're running for real. Sunderland need to liven up.
Ball sent long up towards Kiefer Moore. He doesn't win the header this time. It's away by Ballard. And interestingly, it'll be interesting to see how much joy Kiefer Moore gets now going forward, and whether or not they change that tactic. There's been a goal at Hampden Park. David Tanner.
And it's Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1 after 40 minutes. A simple corner from the right for Celtic. Cameron Carter-Vickers got on the end of it. It's getting off an Aberdeen player, and it's Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1.
Cheers, David. Thank you very much. Back here, it's 1-0 to Sheffield United. Tyrese Campbell scored the only goal, and Sheffield United are brilliant front runners. They rely on getting that first goal. They've scored the first goal now 35 times in 49 matches. Ball out on the left for Romain Mundle, looking to try and do something about that for Sunderland. He miscontrolled it, and blushes are spared by the assistant over on the far side, Neil Davis, who quickly assessed that he was in an offside position.
I think for 5 minutes, Sam, I think I'd change Mayenda and Mundle just to mix it up a little bit, because at the minute Mundle's confidence there, we saw he miscontrolled the ball there just now. He got the ball to feet and he ended up getting tackled, just to give him a different picture, not with just his back to go. Let Mayenda go and play on this side, and let Mundle go up top, and just to see what happens, because at the minute we're not getting anything from Mundle. We know how good of a player he is, we know he's direct, we know he can score a goal, but we just haven't seen it in this first half yet.
Tyrese Campbell just having a word with Rhian Brewster and suggesting that, you know, if you get the ball in that position on the halfway line, get it in behind, because we've got the beating of them by pace as well. They've got the height, they've got the power in Moore, but they've also got the pace in Harmer and in Campbell to get in behind when that ball is played beyond Ballard and Mepham. Here is Chowdhury on the right hand side of the Sheffield United defence. Robinson guides it back to his goalkeeper, and then it's picked up by Cooper, who takes a couple of steps forward. He's had an excellent debut season with Sheffield United, not conceded in the last 3 games. If he doesn't concede this afternoon, they'll win. Here is Harmer linking well with Moore again, left hand side. Oh, it's an outside of the right boot cross from Moore, which was just a little bit too high for Tyrese Campbell. Goes through the 6-yard box and out the other side. But excellent link up play again from Moore, who's huge, and Harmer, who's not.
What a goal that would have been. Fantastic drill of a ball from left centre back, straight as an arrow, right onto Kiefer Moore's head. He heads it back, beautiful link up, and then I was almost expecting Campbell to get on him at the end of another one. Brilliant bit of play.
Gus Harmer standing next to Kiefer Moore.
That twins.
That's the film.
It's like when me and Crookie go out on a Saturday night.
I know which one I am as well, and the short one.
Here is Joe Bellingham, back to Dan Ballard, crossfield ball high into the Wembley sky. 1-0 to Sheffield United. 42 minutes played now on a cloudy day at Wembley. We're at the back of the first tier of this near stand, the touchline side of the dugouts. And we're just a shade to the left of centre. We've got a perfect view of this wonderful Wembley pitch. And Sunderland trying to get themselves going. They're going to need an injection of something. They've had a lot more of the possession as the game has gone on, since the goal in fact, but they started so poorly and they were given a real sucker punch by that breakaway goal from the corner, which Harmer led and Campbell finished. Ball out wide towards the right-hand side, collected now by Rigg, who lays it in field looking for Mayenda, who's bullied off the ball. The ball goes back towards the left-hand side of the defence, and Harmer sends it long, a raking pass, which Campbell's going to chase but not quite keep in. And it's out for a throw on this near side. I get the feeling that Gus Harmer woke up this morning and said, no chance, I'm winning this, and if I have to do it myself, I will. He's all over the place, isn't he?
Yeah, everything he's done has been positive, with quality as well. He sees the pass there, and it's just, it gets a little bit too much on it, but it was the right type of pass, because again Tyrese Campbell pulled off onto this right hand side and made a really good running behind. He just got a bit too much on it, but everything he's doing so far, Gustavo Harmer, has been excellent. With the tempo, the pace, the power, the vision, it's all been outstanding.
He is the creative force with a tireless engine, and Sheffield United have benefited from his contribution all season. He can play as a 6, an 8, a 10. He's brave on the ball, he's a risk taker. He is the Championship's player of the season, and he's had a huge influence on this game. Here's Vinny Souza in midfield, surrounded by 3 white jerseys. Chowdhury went beyond him thinking he was going to get the pass, and Mundo has nabbed it, and he's running at the defence now. He skipped past Peck. He's now running to trouble on the edge of the box. Hodzic just about did enough, and now they can break here with Souza linking with Kiefer Moore, and now Moore's running in behind, but Campbell declines the invitation to play it over the top. Moore himself picked up a bit of speed there, Ian Holloway, and as he ran into the inside right channel, there was an option to play him through.
I think he should have played it forward. They look terrifying when they're breaking like that, and that was the right time to do it. 1-0's not enough, so he decided to come back the other way. It's a bad decision.
Peck into Vinny Souza just in front of the centre circle. 44 minutes, the last minute of the first half of the game. Ball into the box, it's too high for Moore, it's headed away by Sirkin, headed back in by Peck. Brewster is up there, Campbell trying to get there, and it's headed back by Ballard to his goalkeeper inside a physical penalty box away to our right hand side, and the battle physically so far is being won by Sheffield United.
Every single time they put the ball in there direct, they just try and drop it in that area. Sunderland, they're struggling to deal with it. If it's not Tyrese Campbell winning his header, it's Kiefer Moore, it's Ryan Brewster, and they're picking up the second balls as well. As is the game plan for Sheffield United this first half has been absolutely exceptional. Everything they've tried to work. They've had the goal obviously chalked off for offside. It was a great save from Patterson early on in the game as well. They're causing Sunderland so many problems, but on the flip side, we haven't seen enough of Sunderland's attacking players. There's not enough movement, not enough speed in behind, not enough creativity. That's something really Bree's going to have to look at half time.
Just the 8 added minutes at the end of the first half. That because of the injury sustained by Luca 9. Sunderland's game plan disrupted because he was replaced after just 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think this is where the manager needs to earn his money at half time. His game plan has been sussed by Sheffield United. He's got to change it immediately to give them any chance in the second half.
Well, he was appointed late, wasn't he, Regis Labrie? They went through a situation last year where they had a caretaker manager for a very long time towards the end of the campaign, Mike Dodds, after they sacked Mick Beale and Tony Mowbray earlier in the season. And he's come from Lorient in French football. He's worked a lot with younger players, and he is very popular amongst these younger players. But I remember speaking to someone at Sunderland at the end of last season, and in the end they sort of decided that they took so long in order to appoint a manager that they might as well wait till the summer. They did that. They picked up Regis Labrie. No one really had ever heard of him before he walked in the door, but he did a very good job, started brilliantly and got them to the playoff final. And he needs to make significant improvement in his team in the second half as the ball is funneled forward by his captain Dan Neal. Maybe there's a late sting in the towel in injury time at the end of the first half. Mayenda plays it wide, gets it back again, moves down towards the byline, produces a cross, it's blocked by Souza, and it's out and away for a corner to Sunderland.
There is one big thing that is so important at the moment, that is only 1-0. Do you know what I mean? Could have easily been up 3, couldn't it?
Well, it would certainly improve Sunderland's fortunes if they were to strike here and give them a shot in the arm. In fact, the disallowed goal maybe just raised their levels of hope and expectation again. But they have to try and make something count before the break, maybe. Sheffield United very good at keeping teams out. Will try to do that here as the ball comes in right-footed from the corner. Headed away by Brewster.
I don't think that Gustavo Harmer is going to break as quickly this time as he did last, but Rigg has sent it back to the edge of the penalty area, taken down by Hume and then away by Harrison Burrows, and it goes to the halfway line. And Sheffield United survive that set-piece onslaught.
Yeah, comfortable there from Sheffield United, dealing with that set play. Sunderland, his last couple of minutes, have tried now to keep possession and try and play in Sheffield United's half. Do you know what I mean? Taking one or two more risks. I think Mayenda, the last couple of times, we haven't seen that enough. Him getting on the ball on the half turn, trying to make things happen. We need to see more of that in the second half.
Mundle down the left, watched by Brewster. Chowdhury's inside him as well. Mundle's cross is blocked by Brewster. Brewster now trying to fight with Mundle to get there first. Mundle recovers well, gets it back to halfway, and Sunderland retain possession just left of centre. On to Lefay. Now Mundle's just got a little bit of room to run into here. Can he produce a cross? He can into Mayenda. Watched by Robinson and just about cleared by the Sheffield United centre-back. Excellent defending.
Brilliant defending. He read that, he got across, cleared it with his wrong foot. Did ever so well to read that.
Brilliant from Moore to lay it off to Harmer. Harmer can't return it back to Moore though. And it's collected eventually by Chris Mepham. And they come forward again. 49 minutes have been played in this first half. We've still got another 4 to play as Mayenda picks the ball up, runs at the defence. Vinny Souza coming in from behind, manages to put him under pressure. And actually, interestingly, when they did really well against Sheffield United in the game back on New Year's Day, Vinny Souza wasn't in the team for Sheffield United, and I think he's going to be all important today.
Well, you can see that aggression that you need out of possession to make yourself a proper team, and they're certainly looking at it at the moment.
Peck goes towards Bellingham, who lays it off. They've conceded a lot of possession in this latter part of the first half to Sunderland. And Sunderland haven't been able to create much with it just yet. There is space for Mundle on this near side. If Mepham can work the ball to him, he goes to his left and Ballard instead. Now it's on to Mundle's hugging the touchline. He's midway inside the Blades half of the field, travels forward, lays it off, and again, there isn't much room to try and create anything for Sunderland.
Do you know what Sheffield United are doing, Sam, which is really clever? If you just watched him...
Ball played out wide towards the right. Trey Hoop now with a chance to cross. He does that into the centre, away by Chowdhury, who's filling in the centre of the penalty area. Comes out as far as Bellingham, onto Rigg. Rigg trying to turn it round the corner again. A cross coming in from Dan O'Neill, comes back to Rigg, who strikes it into the ground. It pops up in front of Cooper, and he will clear it away for Sheffield United, who lead going into the break.
Yeah, what they're doing, Sheffield United, is quite clever and intelligent, because they're not really trying to press Sunderland, certainly in the middle of the pitch. But as it goes closer to their goal, they're just leaving Tyrese Campbell and Kiefer Moore up and left 2v2. And it's almost like Chris Wilder saying, we'll let them commit more men forward because we've got the pace to get in behind and really cause them a problem. And there's been a few times where if the pass had been right, Sheffield United would have been away.
Well, they are difficult to break down as well, Sheffield United, and it's amazing really that after conceding over 100 goals last season in the Premier League, Sheffield United have recalibrated to keep the third most clean sheets in the Championship this season.
It's no mean feat once you go down to make them all believe in themselves, dust yourself off. You're going to lose some, the vultures come and take your best, pick your bones, and that is what Chris has done so well. Absolutely incredibly. They look like they believe in themselves, even though they didn't manage to stay with Leeds and Burnley in the end. They had a right good go. He's obviously created a siege mentality.
This guy's done well for Sunderland this season. Enzo Lefay down the left-hand side. Very difficult early life in his career. He had to deal with the father who was in prison. He used to go and visit him every Wednesday. His dad sadly died when he was still a kid. He didn't tell anyone who was in his team at the time. He just got on with it and played through it. And he is a resilient character. He was struggling with injuries at Roma. He was taken on loan by Regis Lebris, even though there were clubs in the top flight elsewhere wanting him. But he worked under Lebris before, and he wanted to come and play in England. And there is an obligation actually to buy him for 16.5 million if they're promoted, Enzo Lefay. And he said yesterday, I want to be at Sunderland next year.
I bet he got a shock to his system, because when you live up there, Sam, it is nothing else but football. That was the biggest thing I found when I moved to Sunderland. Every single person up there, football.
He said he loved it because it was cold. He hated Rome because it was too hot.
He's lying. I don't believe him. I've never heard anyone say that ever.
Here's to Souza. Back out to the left-hand side. Burrows funnels the ball forward. A slip and a crucial one by Dan O'Neill, and almost allowed but always allowed Moore to get in and win the ball. He didn't quite get there, and Neil recovered his footing, and Sunderland recovered the ball. 1-0 Sheffield United lead. Live on Talksport this lunchtime. Tomorrow we've got the final day of the Premier League, with 5 teams chasing 3 places in the Champions League for next season. We'll have full commentary of Manchester United, Aston Villa and all the goals as they go in from everywhere else. Sunderland holding on to the ball, but it's them who have really got to try and push the advantage here, or try and push the last few seconds, but they waited for the half-time whistle, which eventually comes. And Sheffield United, who finished a mile ahead of Sunderland in the Championship table, looked as if they were a mile ahead them in the first half an hour of this game. They've raced into a lead at Wembley thanks to a goal from Tyrese Campbell. They could have had a second as well when Harrison Burrows' strike was ruled out for offside by a VAR call late in that first 45 minutes. But the Blades are one half of football away from a return to the Premier League. At the break, Sheffield United leads Sunderland by a goal to nil.
And what a goal it was as well. Absolutely superb from Sheffield United. And Darren Bent, Tyrese Campbell with the finish, but this was all about Gus Harmer showcasing why he is the Championship player of the season.
Well, he showed me something that I didn't think he had, and that was that acceleration, because he ran away from Chris Mepham like Chris Mepham was running in quicksand. But not only that, once he done that, it was the composure at the end to see that Tyrese Campbell, because it happened a couple of times and no one had seen the pass, but when it was his opportunity, he saw Tyrese Campbell, who equally sprinted 60-70 yards. He rolled it across, but that last little bit at the end is a bit I like. The first touch when you're tired, and then just to wait for the goalkeeper, that split second, and to lift it over the goalkeeper. It was a fantastic finish from Tyrese Campbell.
It's a great goal, wasn't it?
Not if you're a Sunderland supporter. No, but to break away from a corner like that, with such pace, with such guile, and I never knew he had that pace, I must admit. But what I liked about it, he slowed himself down, picked the pass, made sure the pass got to Campbell, and that's what a lesser player does. He looks, at the moment, a level above. He looks like a Premier League player. He really does. And we did say, can he step up? Can he do this? So, and he has. And brilliant for Tyrese. I know your dad's watching, son. Absolutely. Yeah. What a legend he was. And you've made yourself a legend if it finishes this way. But what I have to say is tactically, at the moment, with and without the ball, Sheffield United are on top, in my opinion. He's going to have to do something, because their normal patterns that they normally play. What is brilliant about Sheffield United, they are not worried about Rig in any way, shape or form. They are pressing the ball in front of them. They're not giving the centre-halves time. And normally Sunderland go bop, 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 and they're into that fella in the pocket. They can't do it, and that's what's making them look. Their players are looking. They normally find those passes. They can't do it. So that's tactics. Well done. They've got to change.
Patterson with a great save really early in the game. They lost Luke O'Nien as well, who we know is a leader, Darren Bent. But John Brooks, the VAR, Sunderland's best performer so far. If it wasn't for him, this would be all over. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, all right, there are players near the goalkeeper. The goal has been given on field. Is it a clear and obvious error? It's a very subjective decision. I cannot see a clear and obvious error in that decision to give the goal.
Yeah, I'm with you, Aid. I mean, I can understand why it's been chalked off, and I get that. But when you look at the goalkeeper's position, there was a picture where they freeze-framed it. He's not being impeded in any way. He dives that way. He's got a clear line of sight in terms of the way that he dives, and the ball's past him. It's gone in the back of the net. There's no one standing ahead of him, so he can't see the ball. He hasn't really got to adjust his body to see where the ball is. So in that respect, as you said there, Aid, it's not clear and obvious. So for me, the goal should have stood.
I disagree. I think the movement the player makes across the goalie right at the last second stops him from being able to dive. So I think it is actually a foul.
Do you know what? I think he's dived before the ball's gone past him. So that's why I think the goal should stand, because it's not like the shot is there and the guy steps ahead of him. He's dived already, I think, before the defender goes across him. So, and that's what we mean by subjective. That's why it can't be clear and obvious, because we're disagreeing about it, and the fact the referee's gone to the screen and gone, yep, we've made an error, that's what I'm not sure about.
And what I need now is my wonderful wife. What she normally says is, did the ref give it? did he disallow it, then what you arguing about?
One thing to argue about is no VAR in the Championship all season. All of a sudden it rocks up at Wembley. I'm not having that at all. But it's 1-0, and I think it would have been all over at 2. Sunderland still have a chance. They're 1 down at the break against Sheffield United, who stand heading to the Premier League live on Talksport. Celtic heading for another cup, I think, at Hampden Park. Half-time there, David Tanner.
Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1. Manager Jimmy Thielin restyled Aberdeen's shape with a new look back 5, hoping to stop Celtic, who've hit 19 goals past them this season. They defended well, Aberdeen, backs to the wall, and coped well with Celtic's movement until 39 minutes. Arne Engel's corner from the left was headed goalwards by Cameron Carter-Vickers. His effort was diverted off the back of defender Alfie Dorrington, and it went into the net via the post. Dorrington, who's on loan from Tottenham Hotspur, was just back in the team after being red-carded against guess who, Celtic, in the league 10 days ago. Celtic have dominated the ball with 85% possession. They are ahead without a single shot on target for either side in this final. It's Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1 at Hampden Park.
And here at Wembley in the Championship playoff finals, Sheffield United lead Sunderland by a 1-0. Second half next on Talksport.
This Sunday, Talksport will bring you full coverage of the thrilling final day of the Premier League. And Talksport Bet has a great offer for new customers to see off the season in style. Just open a new account, opt in and place a bet of at least £5 on any Premier League game at evens or higher, up to 10 times to get free bets up to a maximum of £50. Talksport Bet. Brilliant broadcaster, bring it on bookie. Free bets expire in 14 days, full terms at talksportbet.com. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Looking for a laptop that fits you? Build your own PC on lenovo.com/customize. Build everything from power and memory to storage and graphics. Students, gamers, creators, professionals. There's a build for every need. Only at lenovo.com. With free shipping, flexible payments and full control, it's tech that works your way. Lenovo. Smarter tech made for you.
Lenovo. Wait, you're not a Hotels.com member? You're telling me you chose to pay full price? Did you not hear the song?
How could you not be a member and save up to 20%? That's less than 50%, but it's more than 0%. You're welcome.
See? Calculations spot on. Save up to 20% on hundreds of thousands of hotels with Hotels.com.
Thanks, Peter. Coming up, we have League Action live on Friday night, followed by 3 more games live on Saturday, then 2 more massive games live on Sunday. And don't forget, League Action live on Monday night. Then it's over to Europe for the big one, live on Tuesday. Then the even bigger one, live on Wednesday. Then it's the other European competition.
Sometimes a break isn't a bad idea. So, if ever you want to take time out from betting, use Paddy Power's Take a Break tool to pause your account. Paddy Power. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
That's not simple. That's not simple. Now that's simple. Hastings Direct Car Insurance is simple, because when life is this complicated, finding a great deal shouldn't be. Great cover, great price, and a great app makes us one of the UK's top choices when comparing car insurance online. Hastings Direct. Simplicity is the best policy. For verification, see hastingsdirect.com/verify.
Car owners, you could be owed thousands in compensation. If you bought a car on finance from 2007 onwards, it may have been sold with hidden commissions. My Claim Group is working hard to help. So, even if you've forgotten your details, make sure you check. Text SPORT to 86688. My Claim Group is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Text SPORT to 86688.
Claims made simple.
From the underworld of Guy Ritchie, Mobland.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
The Paramount Plus original series.
We shake the right hands, break the wrong ones.
Right now, I am in first gear. Would you like to see me shift to 6?
Starring Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren.
We've got everyone where we want them.
Mobland. Stream exclusively on Paramount Plus. T's and C's apply. Subscription required. 18 plus.
Football. It has its ups and downs. There's the players who kiss the badge and kiss the club goodbye. Right after you've splashed out £100 to get their name on your kit. And oh, Oh, the A-list striker who always sticks it in row Z. The good news is the Ladbrokes ACCA gives you auto insurance, free bets back and big odds boosts. So whatever else lets you down, it won't be your ACCA. It's a gaffer of an ACCA from Ladbrokes. 18 plus, online and mobile. Minimum odds apply. Maximum 1 to 3 £10 free bets per customer per day. Up to £50 of boosted odds. Restrictions and T&Cs apply. BeGambleAware.org. Take time to think.
Captivating coverage.
What a hit! The Championship Playoff Final.
Live on Talksport.
Well, Talksport brings you more live boxing commentary as Josh Taylor faces Echo Esserman at Glasgow's Hydro Arena. That's tonight. Adam Cattrall and Gareth A. Davis, your presenters, with Spencer Oliver and John Rawling on commentary. Josh Taylor, Echo Esserman from 8 p.m. on Talksport and the Talksport Boxing YouTube channel. On Talksport 2, a 5 o'clock kickoff in Lisbon for the Women's Champions League final. It's Arsenal taking on Barcelona. Let's look ahead to it with the team news. Your commentator, Joe Shannon.
Yes, Arsenal's long Champions League journey, which began in September, finishes in the final in Lisbon. But will it end with the greatest honour in European football, or does the dream finish here tonight without any silverware? The Arsenal class of 2007 remains the only English team to have ever conquered Europe's top table. So can the likes of Rousseau, McCabe and Little match the achievements of Scott, Sanderson and Carney? For Arsenal today, there's just one change to the side that beat Manchester United on the final day of the WSL season. It's a significant one. It's in goal. Daphne van Domselaar is fit to play. Manuela Zinsberger drops to the bench. So it's the same Arsenal side that played in the semi-final second leg against Lyon. Van Domselaar in goal. Fox, Williamson, Catley and McCabe. Little, Caldente and Mornan. Kelly, Ford and Rousseau. And for Barcelona, who beat Chelsea 8-2 on aggregate in the semi-final, one change for them. Champions League top scorer Claudia Pina replaces Salma Paraluelo up front. It is a massive night. The 2025 Women's Champions League final in Lisbon. Arsenal against Barcelona. It'll be live in full over on Talksport 2.
And all the Arsenal fans will be relieved Van Domselaar is fit, because, listen, it's going to be tough for Arsenal to win it anyway. It would have been virtually impossible without Van Domselaar in goal. Now it's up to her to keep goal and keep that clean sheet, possibly. Rousseau, maybe, and Caldente. Could they do it for Arsenal? You'll find out. Talksport 2 kicks off in less than an hour. Arsenal-Barcelona in the Women's Champions League final. Now, we've got some news coming out of Manchester United this afternoon. Our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, is here at Wembley, but he's keeping on top of all the stories. What you got for us, Alex?
Yeah, this is our colleague David Ornstein at The Athletic, following up actually on a story that we wrote on Thursday in the immediate aftermath of Manchester United's Europa League defeat against Tottenham in Bilbao. That was that he had the backing, Ruben Amorim, the Manchester United manager, of the hierarchy despite that defeat, and obviously what's been a very miserable Premier League season. They could well finish 17th, one place above relegation should they lose, as expected, at home to Aston Villa tomorrow. David is now telling us that Ruben Amorim has relayed that message to the players, despite what he said. Actually, Adrian, you were there in the press conference in Bilbao. If the board didn't think he was the right man for the job, he would offer his resignation. He is staying. There is going to be a summer rebuild, and Alejandro Garnacho, again, as we reported on Thursday, won't be part of that rebuild. He's been told he is free to find a new club. We know there's long-standing interest from Chelsea, from Napoli, and from Atletico Madrid over in Spain as well. I was told on Thursday morning Garnacho had, quotes, 1 foot out the door at Old Trafford. I think that's probably 1 foot and a few toes on the other foot now. It's a sad end to his Manchester United career. He went on social media when he was left out of the starting lineup and put a pretty strong tweet on there of goals in cup finals past, and obviously he then spoke in his native tongue after the game in the mix zone. He used an expletive to describe Manchester United's season and suggested that he should have got more playing time because of the part he played in Manchester United getting to that European final. So he'll be sold, and there's a big debate around the captain Bruno Fernandes as well. Strong interest from Saudi Arabia and Al Hilal in particular. My information is that he's been given a deadline at the end of next week to decide if he wants to make that big money move to Saudi and play for Al Hilal in the Club World Cup. Manchester United, I think ideally Ruben Amorim would like to keep him. They're willing to pay £100 million for Bruno Fernandes and offer him huge wages as well. And I am told that him and Harry Maguire in particular very unhappy with the direction of travel at the top end of the club.
Alex, I've got to say, if you take Bruno Fernandes out of this Man United team, there's a chance they fall into the bottom three. Now, I know they're going to do recruitment and make signings in the summer, but can they really afford to lose Bruno Fernandes?
No, I don't think they can, and I think Ruben Amorim will try and resist that, hence the fact they're willing to cash in on Garnacho, maybe Kobbie Mainoo as well. There's an ongoing contract issue with him that's not been resolved, and he too was disappointed not to get more minutes on Wednesday, and I think he's questioning whether he really fits in to Ruben Amorim's system. So there are going to be departures. They'd love to sell Casemiro, despite the fact he had a bit of a renaissance towards the end of the season, particularly in Europe. Victor Lindelof will be leaving on a free transfer, so will Johnny Evans. So I think they'd rather raise funds from elsewhere, and they are open to offers for Rasmus Højlund as well. No surprise really when you look at how poorly he's finished the season, but how on earth are they going to get back anywhere near the £72 million they spent on him?
Well, he scored more Europa League goals than Garnacho, but that's another conversation. I must admit, when Ruben Amorim was talking about, if they wanted him to go, he would go, I thought, Sir Jim Ratcliffe will be listening to this saying, no, it's okay. And then as soon as Amorim said, Alex, well, we wouldn't even have to talk about compensation. I wonder if Jim Ratcliffe's ears pricked up, his eyes widened. Oh, I won't have to pay him off. Shall I do it or shan't I?
Well, we joke about it, and obviously there is a humorous side to Jim Ratcliffe and some of the extreme measures that he's gone to in order to save money. But there was an email that went around yesterday, 2 days after that demoralising defeat in Spain, telling many more staff that their jobs are under threat. There are going to be another couple of hundred redundancies, and this is seeping into the dressing room, because one of the reasons that Bruno Fernandes would contemplate his future, and other senior players as well, is they've seen how Sir Jim Ratcliffe has treated staff around the football club, and they're not happy. Morale is absolutely through the floor.
Well, tomorrow, 2 o'clock, final day of the Premier League season. We've got it all covered on the Game Day exclusive, and Manchester United against Aston Villa is our commentary on Talksport with Stuart Pearce and Sam Matterface. Talksport 2, Newcastle Everton commentary. Troy Dean is at that one. Talk Radio, you get commentary of Fulham against Manchester City. We've got it all covered, and our coverage gets underway at 2 p.m. on the final day of the Premier League season on Talksport. Players are out for the second half here. Sunderland have work to do. Sheffield United heading to the Premier League as it stands. They lead by a 0-0. Here's your second half of this Championship playoff final live from Wembley on Talksport with Ian Holloway, Darren Bent and Sam Matterface.
Well, they don't call it the richest game in football for nothing. The winners of the Championship don't only get the prestige of playing in the Premier League next season, but they also get around, in fact over £200 million now, which is at least a £60 million jump in revenue from last year because of the new TV deal. It's a mind-blowing increase to these two clubs, and that, as well as the prestige of playing in the top division in club football, is what is at stake in this second half. However, Ian Holloway and Darren Bent, Sunderland will have to be a lot better. I saw Mickey Gray at half-time, and he was absolutely despondent. He thought that Sunderland were awful in that first 45 minutes down.
Well, it does surprise me that he hasn't made any changes. I mean, the first thing certainly that I would have done was brought on Wilson Isidore, just to change up the dynamics of the game, because I think Mayenda has done okay, but hasn't had enough touches. Mundell's been in Hamza Chowdhury's pocket, so you weren't getting enough out of him. And Chris Rigg on that side hasn't really got involved in the game. But with Isidore, he can go a little bit more direct. He's got the pace to get in behind. He's strong. He can go a bit more direct.
As Sheffield United have and are now, with more from Campbell and then back out to the left-hand side towards Campbell. But Ballard is there to tidy up for Sunderland, and it's cleared away to the halfway line. Ian Holloway, no changes at half-time, but there needs to be a change in tempo from Sunderland.
Absolutely, yeah. The players need to liven up. They need to shake them up and make sure that they're aggressive.
Here's Sirkin down the left-hand side, trying to combine with Mundell, gets his cross in, takes a deflection, goes behind, and they do have a corner early on.
And when I say aggressive, Sam, I mean just forceful. Let's get on the front foot, let's put the ball forward, let's go and do that. And they've been second all around the pitch. I would have made some changes, I honestly do. We're on about Isidore, and I think that looks a bad mistake, because he was a huge part of their starting in the other two games, and Mundell just hasn't done it, so hopefully he can do it now.
At corner taken short, towards that left-hand side. Chance for Rigg to deliver. It's a deep one, but it goes right over the top of the crossbar and actually went out of play and came back in again. And it's going to be a goal kick away to our right. It's a bit of a waste, actually, in terms of a set piece for Sunderland, who trail by a goal to nil. The goal coming after 25 minutes for Tyrese Campbell, goal number 11 of the season. He's now the leading scorer outright. He hadn't scored, actually, in his previous 8 appearances before notching that goal, but he took it as if he'd been scoring goals like that every week. He was so confident in front of goal. As the goalkeeper advanced, he just lifted it over beautifully with a deft little touch, which went beyond the goalkeeper Patterson and into the back of the net. Cooper with a poor clearance, goes straight out of play, hands possession back to Sunderland, and they have it on the right side with Trey Hugh.
When you've been in the Premier League and you've seen what those teams do against you have analytical stuff given to you that tells you what passing lanes they've got. And I'm telling you, Sheffield United know exactly what Sunderland are going to do, so Sunderland got to do something different.
Got to go off the cuff a little bit, come up with something a little bit different.
Exactly, and you have to do that with your finishers off the bench.
Well, Gustavo Harmer is that kind of player, isn't he, for Sheffield United? Sunderland need to get Rigg on the ball, maybe. Here he is down that left-hand side. He's miscontrolled it and allowed Harrison Burrows to come across and nab it. Goes back into the centre of the penalty area. Robinson away, fires it out. Bit of pressure here from Sunderland in the early stages of this second 45. Darren Bent.
Yeah, they're making Sheffield United make mistakes. I mean, playing in their half now, getting the ball a little bit more direct as well. I quite like that, but can they show that little bit of composure and that quality in that final third?
And quicker to it. Dan Neil gives the ball away, though, in the middle of the park, and now a chance to break, and Moore can't get beyond Mepham, who timed his intervention brilliantly, and that was a real worry for Sunderland because Campbell and Moore were on the break and it was 2-on-2. Mepham had to get that right and did. Now Mundle at the other end tries to get it into the box. O'Neill and Dan Neil trying to come onto it. It's away by Brewster, back in by Mundle, takes a deflection, goes behind, and it's out for a corner to Sunderland. They have just upped the ante a little bit.
I do like that from Mundle again, getting on the front foot. He knows he had a tough time that first half against Hamza Chowdhury. Get on that ball, and even though the ricochet come back to him, go at him again, try and make things happen. Keep trying to get these set plays because Sunderland have shown more intensity in these first 2 minutes than they showed in the entirety of the first half.
Great team talk, I think. Well done, manager.
Here's the corner, far side, taken by Enzo Lefebvre. French under-21 international in his time. Straight punch away by Michael Cooper down the middle of the park. Homer can't get on the end of that. He was trying to chase it out for Sheffield United, and it's recycled by Dan Neil, the captain. Back out to Lefebvre again. Another cross into the box. Kiefer Moore wins the header. Harmer does win it this time. Sidney Peck picks it up, and now a chance to break away on this near touchline. Not a great ball by Tyrese Campbell. It was behind Harrison Burrows. He had to readjust, and again, like we said before, that's the forcing into errors.
This place causes all sorts of problems when your fans don't ever give up. It doesn't matter about whether you're in front or behind. You got to keep believing, and Sunderland can do this. This is incredible.
They used to have met in the playoffs before, 97-98. Sunderland won 3-2 on aggregate in the Championship semi-finals. Their first meeting at Wembley, though, is today. Here is Mundle, edge of the penalty area. Right-footed effort over the top of the crossbar, and actually Chris Wilder was on the bench for that Championship playoff semi-final in 97-98.
I'm going to ask some knowledge from you, but I'm not surprised with that when it comes to you, Sam. But for Sunderland, do you know what? I like what they're doing as well, because I would keep force-feeding Mundle. I know he had a tough first half, but keep giving him the ball. He's one of their more expressive, creative players, and I know his confidence maybe is a little bit low from didn't really get much first half. Just keep giving him the ball. Just every single time you get it, give him the ball. Give him the ball.
Yeah. He's 5 goals in 24 games this season. He is just coming back from injury, so I think Ian Holloway said it earlier. It may well be that he's here to sort of soften them up and then get a finisher on from the bench later in the second half. He's actually had a good week. He's a former Tottenham youth player. He was born and raised in Edmonton, and I'm sure he's pretty happy about the fact that Tottenham have already lifted a major trophy, as Darren Bent is sitting alongside us.
You love saying that, Sam, aren't you?
I thought you were better than Aid. Obviously not.
No, we're ganging up on you today. We did a pack. We all sent a group text round earlier. It's all right. It has an impact on Crook as well, which is why we've obviously bought into it massively. Did you see the video of him and Fleck straight after the game, by the way?
What? occasionally I agree with what you said. And that was one of those rare occasions where I actually agreed with everything that he said, because usually I don't.
In between the tears, of course.
Yeah, that bit I did like.
I mean, he did look as if he was in need of a hanky when he was delivering that monologue. Here is Mundo again down the left-hand side, played in by Serkin, gets to the edge of the penalty area. It careers into the path of Bellingham. Bellingham holding it up, nudges it back. It goes from Neil out towards Hume. Hume into Lefay, tries to do a little turn, but can't quite get it out of his feet. And it's away by Robinson. And Sheffield United might just have to stick in this for a bit because they're under pressure here. And they've gone out to Harmer, to Peck, and now to Moore. And he's got space to run into. And Tyrese Campbell is at the far post. It's Moore into the penalty area, setting it back to shoot. Comes back off the defender. It's on the edge of the box with Brewster. He goes down inside the box, wants a penalty. The referee says the ball was won.
Wow, I'm not sure about that.
Sunderland managed to clear it. But Chris Riggs' intervention on the edge of the box to deny Brewster a shot at goal, absolutely crucial. And I think he knew that he might be in a bit of trouble because he stayed down for a very long time. Sunderland have got it clear.
Cooper Moore chooses the wrong option. He does really well initially to get that little 1-2 and get away. But I think when you come inside and you kind of close off the space, just roll it to Tyrese Campbell. It's only strong left foot as well. Let him come onto it and finish it off. But he tried to create the angle and go for himself. For me, that's an opportunity gone.
Or he could have backheeled it. There was another. I think that's the occasion got to him a little bit there. But that's why it's so interesting now, because what Sheffield United want is a breakaway opportunity, and the more Sunderland come at it, the better the game's going to get.
They were so ruthless in the semi-final against Bristol City. They took their chances. They scored a lot of goals in those two fixtures. It was the highest scoring playoff game, I think, since 1987-88. But they had a chance there, which you would expect them to take. They didn't quite get it over the line, and now they're facing their own goal. And Lefay is going through the middle to get on the end of the cross from Hume. It's away from the right back. Chowdhury picked up by Brewster far side, but he's under pressure. Back to Chowdhury again. Now Brewster. He's being sent back towards his own goal. There was a foul there by Mundo. It's going to be a free kick over on the far side.
The first time you can see anything on the Sheffield United bench, they're having a conversation, Nilly and Chris, about, wait a minute, where are we going? What do we need to do here? You know, so they're well done to Sunderland without making a change. They've actually grown and driving. They're starting to drive at Sheffield United with a passion, and that's what you need. Total passion.
If Sheffield United, if Sunderland get over the line here and stop Sheffield United from winning this game, then Chris Riggs' tackle inside the box will be all important, Darren Ben. You've seen it again?
Yeah, what a tackle that is. It's last minute. I think Brewster thinks he's about to get the shot off, and his foot comes from nowhere and just about gets the toe on the ball before he collides with Ryan Brewster. Really, really good tackle there. But I think you can see, even though it's still majority of the second half to go, they are taking 1 or 2 more risks now, Sunderland, committing more men forward, exposing himself 2v2 at the back. And if you're Chris Wilder, it's about patience.
And Cooper, who's slowing the game down away to our right-hand side, the Sheffield United goalkeeper, just taking his time there. And that's why there is a bit of a conference on the near touchline between Chris Wilder, Alan Neil, Matt Prestridge, Jack Lester, Keith Andrews, all part of the coaching staff at Sheffield United. As Mundell comes forward, out on the left-hand side, Serkin going on the overlap is thwarted by the robust Hamza Chowdhury, who is a centre midfielder by trade, but was hired in January to add a little bit of extra bite to the team, and he's certainly done that this afternoon.
He's been outstanding. Everything he's done defensively, 1v1, even there, getting back into position, making blocks, playing with the quality with the ball at his feet as well. I think he's been outstanding for Sheffield United as well.
I didn't honestly know he had that in his locker at right back. Done ever so well.
Won the championship title last season with Leicester, could be getting promoted again this year with Sheffield United. He also won the FA Cup final. He came off the bench in the FA Cup final for Leicester City in 2021.
So nicked a little medal there as well. Like that.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Get as many medals as possible. And let's go down to the touchline, because Alex Crook has noticed some movement on the Sunderland bench.
Yeah, only 12 minutes gone in this second half, but Regis Labrie is going to make the change. Patrick Roberts is coming on.
Up towards Campbell, who takes it out of the sky, and out comes Serkin to nab the ball off his toes and get it back to his...
I was just about to stop.
I'm delighted that you were, because there's a football game going on. It's not all about you, fella. I know that's how you think sometimes. Do you want to finish?
Patrick Roberts will be coming on in the next few minutes, next time the ball's out of play.
Good news. Here's Anzola Faye down the right edge of the penalty area, trying to get a shot away. It's blocked by Robinson, and then back to Neil. Neil switches it to the far side, but it's a poor pass by him. And he actually was getting a little bit of stick at half-time from some of the Sunderland journalists that I was talking to about the number of times they'd given the ball away. That was a poor pass.
Have a shot. I mean, you're only 25 yards from goal. Have a shot. Anything could happen. Deflection, slight ricochet, might go straight in, but have a shot from there. Don't pass the buck.
See, that's why he's a goal scorer. I would have thought slide it out to the wide man like he tried to. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. Even when he's asleep, he thinks about shooting.
Here's the change then. And it's Chris Rigg, 17 years of age, the youngest player to start the Championship playoff final, comes off, and on comes Patrick Roberts. How will that precipitate a change for Sunderland?
Well, he's very one-footed, Patrick Roberts, but one thing he can do, he can manipulate the ball and go past people. I've known Patrick for a long time now. I spent time with him at Fulham when he was there as a young kid. I expect him to be the next big thing. It didn't quite happen for him, but in terms of his ability on the ball and to be able to go past people, to create, to be brave, I think it's the perfect substitution for Sunderland.
Just seen a shot of Luca 9 in a sling because of his shoulder injury that he sustained in the first 4 minutes of this game. That's the second window that they've used for a substitution as well, by the way. So they've only got one window left before full time to make a change. Sunderland, so they're likely to make 3 in a row the next time, I think. There's a foul on Mundell, and there's going to be 2 substitutions happening for Sheffield United. And Callum O'Hare, who came off the bench in the semi-final and scored in each leg, is about to come on. Ball into the box from the deep free kick. Again, it's too easy for Michael Cooper, and again there will be criticisms for Dan Neil, who took that. Ball picked up by Sidney Peck far side. Neil goes across, wins the challenge, puts the ball out of play on halfway, and it goes out for a throw-in over on the far side.
He can't hide. He's got to keep getting on the ball, keep trying to make things happen. We know his last couple of deliveries haven't been great, but the last thing Sunderland need in this position in the second half is for players to start hiding. Keep getting on the ball, keep trying to make things happen. It could be that one pass, that one shot that changes the outcome of this game, but I know he's having a tough time, but he's got to stick with it.
Well, this game's on a knife edge now, absolutely. The next goal's vital.
Sousa, the base of the centre midfield position. Sheffield United leading by a goal to 0. The goal scored by Campbell after 25 minutes. Sheffield United hoping that they can get over the line and return to the big time. These two, both of them won their home meetings earlier in the season. Sheffield United 1-0 at home on November the 29th. Tom Davis scored that day. Both sides of the player red carded. Harry Souter, they lost. And to get over that, Chris Mepham for the Black Cats. Sunderland won 2-1 at home on New Year's Day. Mayenda and Isidore scoring for the home team. Luca 9 actually scored an own goal that day. Well, he's been substituted today. And he will hope that maybe Isidore and Mayenda can get them out of it. Isidore yet to come off the bench. Here is Peck out towards the right side. Plays it to Brewster. Lovely ball down the right for Peck once again. Peck gets hold of it, edge of the area. Reverse ball into Campbell's a little bit heavy. Mepham comes across. Just nudges it wide. Ballard retrieves it, puts it out of play, and it's out for a Sheffield United throw deep inside Sunderland territory. Half an hour to go. Sheffield United lead by a goal to 0. Darren Bent.
It's really evident how the pace of Sheffield United in attacking areas are hurting Sunderland. Again, they're really waiting for their opportunity. In the moment there's a pass on, it's the quality that Peck there we saw running in behind. It was Gustavo Harmer or it's the Sousa, Campbell. Every single time someone gets a head up and they make a run, Sunderland cannot live with the pace of Sheffield United. So if you're Chris Wilder, you're saying keep doing that. As soon as you get into the right areas, just slide it in behind.
Rhian Brewster picks up a yellow card for tripping just moments ago. Robinson with a long throw from the right side. A launched ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Patterson comes and commands his 6-yard box beautifully. Grabs the ball ahead of everybody and then runs to the edge of the penalty area. Under pressure from Campbell, bowls it out to Bellingham, and now they look to attack. That's good goalkeeping in Holloway.
Absolutely outstanding. He's kept them in the game. The save in the first couple of minutes, and that's exactly what your keeper to do, and his use of the ball was brilliant.
Ball back towards the far side. Andre Brooks is the other substitute that's about to come on for Sheffield United. Forward by Mepham into Roberts. First chance for him to get on the ball. He lifts it into the penalty area. It's a poor ball forward. cut out by goalkeeper Cooper, and he will hold on to it for as long as possible before he clears away. Sheffield United have won 3 of the last 4 meetings between these two, despite the fact they lost in January. And they're leading this one.
Strange choice of pass that really was, a little flip into there. Stick into someone's feet.
He's given it to Burrows, and Burrows found Harmer into Moore turning to Harmer and saying we wanted something different there, and it goes back to goalkeeper Cooper once more, who has played a significant role in their defensive solidity. 23 clean sheets, an impressive save percentage as well. Been well protected by the defence, but he does know very well when to slow the game down. It's been a top signing from Plymouth. Ahmahodzic moving forward, playing out towards the left, and Robinson lifts it in towards Moore. The flick on was the wrong direction. Harmer had gone across him, but it's been given away by Mepham and picked up by Campbell into Moore again. He needed to pass it forward into Harmer. Instead he went back to Sidney Peck after a moment of deliberation too long. Goes back to halfway. Robinson sees it all the way back to Cooper.
Yeah, you're right there, Sam. I mean, Kiefer Moore, he's telling everyone there at the minute that calm down, but it's still half an hour left. Go and get that second goal and try and win the game. And Gustavo Harmer picked up a really intelligent position. He's almost playing like in a front 3, but just dropping off into a little pocket into that 10. And Sunderland are yet to kind of deal with him. No one's seen he's there.
He's given the ball away here because Peck gave him a risky ball, but he's won it back, helped win it back, and now he's got it. Right side of the centre circle, strides forward, chest pumped out, moves it into the path of Peck beautifully. Peck runs onto it, didn't have to break stride. He was engaged by Mepham. Back to Harmer again, in towards Moore. Moore couldn't control, he knows he should have done better.
Oh, so unlucky. He can make things tick, can he? He's like a little time machine in there. Well done, son. Bop, 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 bop. Love it, love it. He's got the purest of ability. Absolutely beautiful.
Talksport's Alex Crook is on the touchline with the news of the substitutions.
Yeah, Rhian Brewster is the first Sheffield United player to be replaced. As you mentioned, Callum O'Hare is one coming on, so too is Andre Brooks, and it's Tyrese Campbell, the goal scorer, who's bound to get a standing ovation for the Sheffield United fans. It was the other change. I'm keen to get Benty's views and Ian's as well on the performance of Joe Bellingham, obviously a player who's been talked about as maybe moving on to Pastures New this summer. The likes of Borussia Dortmund and Manchester United have been linked with him. I think he's been anonymous in this game.
Yeah, he has. I think he's almost played with a handbrake on as well. I mean, he's tried to get on the ball and make things happen, but it's in the wrong areas. He's not getting in and supporting the front player, Mayenda. He's not getting his shots off. He's not getting into creative areas. Everything he's doing is almost in front of Sheffield United's midfield force. He's not really affecting the game. So, yeah, I expected a little bit more from him.
Yeah, and me, to be honest. I think Sheffield United have dominated that area.
1-0 to Sheffield United. And Alex Crook, I think, has got a story about David Brooks as well, because last year didn't he dislocate his arm in the Championship playoff final? Is that right, Crook?
He did. The same injury that obviously has befallen Luke O'Nien, and that must be a bit of a freak to happen in the same game in successive seasons. Obviously the difference at the moment was that David Brooks' team went on to win, Southampton beating Leeds. At the moment, O'Nien's misery is going to be compounded by defeat.
25 minutes to go though to change that, and they've made a couple of substitutions, obviously one enforced in Mepham. Roberts has come on. They're warming up a quartet of substitutes away to our left-hand side. We'll see how the substitutes for Sheffield United perform now. Here is Patrick Roberts off the bench into Joe Bellingham. The referee got in his way a little bit there. Played it to his left now, and it was picked up by Sirkin and then on to Mundle in Sunderland white, running up to the edge of the box and cutting away from Andre Brooks, then playing it into Enzo Lefebvre. Lovely touch into Roberts. Roberts out wide to Sirkin. Sirkin's crossed low into the box, steered away by Sousa, and it's pushed out and away for a corner over on the far side. But excellent football from Sunderland, and Patrick Roberts having an influence.
Here he is, yeah, really good play there from Patrick, just picking the ball up outside the D and feeding it out to Sirkin. And Sirkin's got every right to moan at Mayenda. He puts a really nice ball into that near post. Someone's got to make that run. It's not just Mayenda's job to get across the front, but someone's got to make that run to try and affect the cross.
Enzo Lefebvre with the set piece over on the far side. Bit of pushing and shoving going on inside the box, which the referee's going to try and mitigate. And Enzo Lefebvre has to wait in front of those Sunderland fans, away to our right-hand side. Cooper, 2 hands in the air, just standing back from the melee on the edge of the 6-yard box. They're very crowded at that near post. It's a flick on by Ballard. It was a low one which didn't quite come off, and then a flick over his back by Roberts, which goes straight over the top of the crossbar and out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. This is Talksport on a Saturday afternoon. You're listening to Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 0 in EFL Game Day live on Talksport with McDonald's. Order McDelivery on the app and get rewards points. 18 plus. Be participating restaurants. Delivery fees and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com. And although the football season sort of comes to an end, it never really comes to an end, not with England Internationals, the Club World Cup and the Women's European Championships to come over the next few weeks. We have got live rugby for you this summer on TalkSport. The Lions, the British and Irish Lions, tour down under. Live commentary from all 3 test matches, plus the warm-up games as well. Exclusive content from Australia and TalkSport on the YouTube channel. It's the only place on national radio where you can follow all of the Lions action right here on TalkSport. 68 minutes gone. Free kick given against Mundle, and Mundle has picked up a yellow card as a result of that challenge, and the ball is back with Sheffield United, and Sidney Peck plays it forward but gives it straight to Joe Bellingham, and Bellingham strides forward far side, tries to manipulate the ball and outfox the Sheffield United midfield, but then has to retreat and go back the other way again. And switched out towards this near side, and then it's too hefty from Dan Ballard. It's going to go out of play, and Trey Hume, who jumped for that, has just suffered a little bit of cramp, and he's just stretching his calves out.
Wow, this is exactly what you don't want it to peter away. For me, I'd be bringing on the cavalry now if I was a Sunderland manager. I got 3 more substitutes I could have to throw on there. I'd be definitely doing it. I think Wilson Isidore's got to get on there. Absolutely can't believe he's not on there at the moment.
Well, not with 21 minutes still to play, and he's down away to our left-hand side, looking tall and lean and trying his best to catch the manager's eye, I think. Ball cleared away by Patterson, forward by Almahozic, tucked in behind by Harmer, and Brooks is chasing it. He's got the better of the defender. It comes back to him after a save, and he doesn't quite sort his feet out in time to finish it off. What a chance for Sheffield United to win the playoff final. A ball over the top, a hopeful one. He shrugged off Dennis Sirkin as they reached the edge of the penalty area. Andre Brooks got his shot away, saved by Patterson again, and then when it came back to him, he couldn't sort his feet out. What a chance.
Yeah, Patterson's kept him in it because he does really well there, Andre Brooks. He uses his body really well, ushers him out the way, but it's that composure at the end. He doesn't quite catch it. I can see he tries to open his body up.
Squeezing for a tight gap, getting down the outside, knocked over by Sousa. The assistant on the near side gave the free kick. The referee said play on.
That's a free kick. What are you thinking, mate?
Gus Harmer is down and he looks forlorn. He's sitting on the halfway line, Alex Crook, and he looks as if his race is run.
Yeah, he's been there for a while, Sam, as well. He actually went down as Sheffield United were away in that last attack when probably Andre Brooks should have doubled their lead and sealed this victory. Chris Wilder immediately signals to the bench. I think it was Ben Brereton Diaz that he called back, but it's always a worry, isn't it, when a player goes down, not as a result of a tackle, but clearly some kind of muscular problem. Meanwhile, it is a warm day down here pitch side, so both sets of players are coming over to take on water, but I'm not sure Harmer will be able to continue here.
Well, what a save from Andre Brooks by Anthony Patterson. He was diving the wrong way. Brooks did brilliantly actually to pull it to the other side, but he stuck out a left foot and managed to kick it clear. Harmer getting treatment with what looks like cramped hamstring injury. I think that came on Ian Holloway as he hooked the ball over towards Andre Brooks to chase down Sirkin and cause him problems, and Sirkin really did have a problem.
He certainly had a problem. The goalie got him out of jail again. I think Harmer's been absolutely outstanding. You know, we did talk about him. There was a great expectation of him, but he's surpassed anything I've seen of him so far, so I hope he's not badly injured, but it looks like he might have to come off.
Well, he's hobbling towards the near touchline now. He was taken off in the playoff final last year. He really doesn't want to have to come off this time, but I think he's going to have no choice in the matter, and Bren Brereton Diaz is coming over as he looks to be wiping the tears from his eyes.
To be honest with you, he's walking like I do 2 days after leg day in the gym, mate. I've done far too many squats, and then that's what I look like, so hopefully he won't be injured. And what a sub to have, by the way, Brereton Diaz to bring on. That's the squad they've built. Well done.
Yeah, Brereton Diaz comes on for Gustavo Harmer. Harmer just leans over to the Chilean international and says, come on, get us over the line here. We've got 19 minutes to go. And there's going to be a couple of changes, I think, for Sunderland as well. Going to try and make something happen, Alex Crook.
Yeah, the changes that Ian Holloway has been crying out for. One of them anyway, Wilson Isidore is coming on, and so too is Tommy Watson for what will be his last ever Sunderland appearance before he moves to Brighton in the summer. Roman Mundell is one of those who is making way. Isidore on in place of him, and here comes Tommy Watson as well. As I say, already sealed a big money move to the Premier League, and it's the skipper Dan Neil who makes way.
Yeah, I don't think he's had his best game, Dan Neil. Tommy Watson coming on, and it'll be interesting to see how they shape up now. Maybe Lefebvre will just drop a little bit deeper, Darren Bent, and Tommy Watson will go out and play in the wide area. Isidore surely will go through the middle here. Maenda maybe alongside him, Roberts towards the right hand side as well, and it'll almost be 4-2-4 from Sunderland when they've got the ball and they're going forward.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Patrick Roberts on this right-hand side, Mayenda and Isidore down the middle. And I think that complements each other well. I think Isidore now, you can go a bit more direct. He'll win his headers. He'll use the pace to get him behind as well. And you can get Mayenda kind of coming across the front of him, picking up those little pockets of space and getting the ball into his feet, because he showed a couple of glimpses first half, Mayenda, that he can make things happen. But we haven't seen that often enough in the second half. I don't think he's gotten the ball once. So now with Isidore there, it takes a little bit of pressure off him.
Talksport on Championship playoff final day with 17 minutes to go. Sunderland haven't had any shots on target in the second half, despite the fact that they've had more possession in the second half. But their expected goals tally for the second half of the game, where they have been a little bit better, Darren Bent, is 0.09.
So not great. Is that what you're telling me there? Not great. But it's certainly one of them. I just don't think Sunderland have asked Sheffield United too many questions. I think it's been all quite lethargic. There's not been really any short, sharp play. No one's really had to defend. But I think now when you've got as attacking as they have,
brilliant flick on by Moore again, and the header isn't a great one, and then it's kept alive and Brooks has picked it up. He's tried a little back heel towards O'Hare, who did very, very well. Didn't quite work out, but they're still coming forward. Harrison Burrows on this left-hand side sets the cross up. Moore heads it down. Brooks will get there first, but he's 10 yards now short of the penalty area. Goes back out to Burrows once more. Burrows down the left. Here's Bren Brereton Diaz, who just tries to sort of feather the ball in towards the near post. It wasn't a great ball, and it was cleared away by Sunderland. And you just wonder, with the attacking power from the bench that they have got, Sheffield United, as if this is when they come into their own. Brilliant from Sidney Peck, who's been terrific again. Onto O'Hare, back to Moore, edge of the area, tried to get his shot away, but Joe Bellingham watched it, nabbed it, and managed to get it clear.
I thought it was a foul. I think he's gone to pull the trigger there, Kiefer Moore, and Joe looks like he's just put his foot there to stop him getting the shot off. I thought it was a foul, but I mean, we've got some attacking talent for Sunderland and for Sheffield United, but I think for Sunderland, you can't commit too many men forward. I know you've got your attacking options on the pitch, but if you start committing men forward and you've got Brereton Diaz, Callum O'Hare and Kiefer Moore at the other end of the pitch, they're going to cause you problems.
Yeah, you've got to, though. Honestly, Darren, this is it. This is or bust, and you've got to go for it. I can't believe he didn't do it give him another 10 minutes. I would have put him on earlier.
How long does it take you to get into the feel and the rhythm of the game?
Yeah, that's fine, but what you need to do, you need to see how it's going and realise this is your only chance.
No, I mean, because the substitutes have been late, how long will it take them to get into the game?
Oh, that's what I mean. They're going to take 2, 3, 4 minutes. Very luckily, did somebody come on the scoreboard at his first touch.
Here's Patrick Roberts on towards Mayenda. Mayenda into the penalty area. He struck it high into the top corner of the net, and Sunderland are back in it. Roberts, the substitute, set him up. Mayenda raced away into the box, and then right-footed, he smashed the ball into the roof of the net beyond Michael Cooper to score the equalising goal for Sunderland. And how Sheffield Sheffield United will rule those missed chances.
What a finish that is for Mayenda. It's really, really good movement. I mean, Patrick Roberts picks up the ball in that pocket of space, and Mayenda makes a really intelligent run from centre to the right-hand side channel, and Patrick Roberts just rolls it in between the centre half and the full-back, and then Mayenda, can he keep his composure? He doesn't go for safety, he just pulls the trigger with his weaker foot, his right foot, and it goes into the near top corner. I mean, it's such a good goal from Sunderland's perspective. The first time they've got Patrick Roberts in that number 10 area, and he slides the perfect way to pass, and it's one touch from Mayenda and smash into the roof of the net.
Tommy Watson wins it on the halfway line. He pokes it into midfield. It comes out towards Roberts. Roberts, who's in the left half position, attacking the edge of the penalty area, feeds it into Mayenda, who pulls away into the inside right channel. Robinson can't get across, and he hits it with so much power that Cooper can't either, and it's 1-1.
They're starters and finishers, and the finishers have come on and they've made a massive difference. Go for it. You've got one chance. Go for it. What a game we got on our hands now.
Well, we've got a 14-minute game.
Come on.
We will use the extra period if need be, and it may end up going to penalties. Sometimes it does in the Championship playoff final. The most recently it did so between Luton and Coventry. Robinson's been outpaced by Mayenda, who's tried to keep it in on the right-hand side. Robinson's got back and managed to get it away. Burrow's clear. That was a late challenge by Lefay. The free kick is going to be given after what was a little bit over-aggressive from Enzo Lefay on City Peck.
Two up front causes all sorts of problems against the back four. Isidore hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't really had a touch, but he's infected the other centre-half, so it's unbelievable.
Mayenda gets his 10th goal of the season, and would you believe it, 6 of them have come against clubs from Sheffield. Here's Alex Crook on the bench.
It was a bit like being at Wembley Box Park watching this game when that goal went in. All of the Sunderland subs were up, celebrating, sports drinks being poured over their heads. And Luke O'Neill, he forgot about that dislocated shoulder for a moment. He raced all the way down the touchline to celebrate with his teammates out on the pitch.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they throw sports drinks around at Box Park.
I've never seen a Lucas head sold there before.
I get the picture that he's painting. Yeah, it's a different amber liquid that's being tossed around. But obviously Crook, being such a sportsman himself, is only ever focused on the Lucasade recovery drinks. Ball up towards the halfway line. Moore tries to head it down. O'Hare can't get there. Sousa with a strong challenge. And this is interesting psychologically, isn't it? How does Sheffield United react to that setback? It's not been all their own way in the game, but pretty much.
No, it hasn't. And as you said, all of a sudden now Sunderland are starting to ask them 1 or 2 more questions, getting the ball in the right areas. And Sheffield United, let's be honest, with the chances they've had, the game could have been over. But that's what you've got goalkeepers for, to keep you in the game, give you an opportunity. They've done that, but now Sunderland seem to be the team that are really trying to make Sheffield United think about what they're doing, certainly defensively.
Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 1. Sunderland on the attack. Into the chest of Isidore. Gets it back to Lefay. And now Joe Bellingham, right-footed, driving the ball at rapid pace, and he hit that with real venom towards the top corner. It went over the top of the crossbar, but the momentum, you feel, has shifted into Sunderland's favour. Where's the momentum at Hampden Park, David Tanner?
84 minutes gone. It's Aberdeen 1, Celtic 1. The Aberdeen equaliser came from a Shayden Morris cross from the right, and Kasper Schmeichel came out to collect it and scooped it into his own net. Own goal, Kasper Schmeichel. Aberdeen 1, Celtic 1, 5 minutes to go.
What a day we've got for you tomorrow, by the way. We've got a fantastic menu of football for you, including the League One playoff final and the final games from the Premier League on a day where Champions League places will be decided. Roberts causing problems. They gave it back to him after initially Sheffield United had won it, and then he's kicked the ground. The ball's broke through the edge of the penalty area. Enzo Lefay stops the game because the ball has been pierced. It's been punctured, I think, by Patrick Roberts, who sort of kicked the ball into the ground, and I don't know what happened there.
Was that the excuse that he's used with Patrick Roberts?
Let's be nice to him.
No, I'm not going to. He's kicked Wembley about a foot closer to QPR's ground. Well, that ankle's going to be sore, isn't it?
Yeah. On the score with 10 minutes to go. We have switched the ball. Tomorrow, Charlton against Leyton Orient, Manchester United, Aston Villa live from Old Trafford. Adrian's going to be at Nottingham Forest against Chelsea. And we'll have all the goals as they go in from Newcastle, Everton, Fulham, Man City, Southampton, Arsenal, Tottenham against Brighton. Whatever game you want, by the way, just get the Talksport app, you'll have them all. Ball is out on the right-hand side. It's collected now by Brooks. He's crossed for Sheffield United in towards the far post, and before Brereton Diaz can get there, a brilliant intervention from Trey Hume to stop the big Chilean from getting on the end of a sumptuous cross.
Absolutely fantastic defending, young man. A right back who's got inside his winger and dived and headed it out. Fantastic.
Sheffield United have it again. The billowing white smoke that has come off of the red flares that were lit away to our right when that goal from Sunderland went in has just started to drift over Wembley, and is cloaking it with a bit of a haze as we go into the final 8 minutes of the game. Mayenda with the equaliser for Sunderland in this second half means we're heading to extra time in the playoff final. Here is Roberts into Lefay. Now Bellingham looking to switch the play out to the left, and he does so, and he finds Tommy Watson, who chests it down. Can he keep it in? He can't. He's just run off his chest and out for a throw-in the right full-back position. And what a big 8 minutes plus injury time this is for both these two. It's going to require concentration and maybe a little bit of invention and creativity to change the course of history.
And have to be patient. I think both teams now, you can see that they're quite tired, quite fatigued. But I think if you keep moving the ball, getting the ball into your wide areas, because I almost feel like Sheffield United have come away from what they were doing really well, which is going a little bit more direct to keep them more, winning the second balls and then playing in Sunderland's half. They've almost come away from that, whereas Sunderland now are the ones getting on the ball, making things happen.
Mayenda dispossessed by Sousa, but it runs kindly for Patrick Roberts, who looks to try and twist on the ground. It's taken out for a throw-in on this near side for Sunderland.
And things suddenly start going Sunderland's way. They've got that the throw in there, you know. But what I said at half time is sometimes you have to change the shape, and that's what he's done with 4 up front now. He's got 2 up front, 2 wide ones. Meppenham halfway for Sunderland. 1-1 the score, 7 minutes to go. This is Talksport. Here is Dan Ballard moving it out to the left-hand side. The cross from Sirkin is blocked, and it goes out of play and level with the edge of the penalty area. Sunderland have it once again. There were just a few minutes left for Sheffield United to see it out, but you can't see it out from the distance. I think they tried to. They did bring on attacking substitutes. They've lost Goss Harmer now. They're going to need somebody else to be the catalyst. Maybe it will be O'Hare, who was so important in the semi-finals, and he's just nudged the ball round the corner to Brooks. I wonder if he's thinking about that chance that he had. Across goes Ballard, does just enough to get in the way of Brooks, and Brooks ends up losing the ball. What a lovely little bit of play by Enzo Lefay, who pivoted beautifully over on the touchline to bring the ball out of defence. Outstanding. That looked like 16 million quid's worth of stuff if he gets. They got to buy him, haven't they, if they get promoted?
Yeah, 16.5 million quid from Roma. Here is my end of the goal scorer into Roberts through the legs of Peck and going out the other side. He's pulled back by not just Peck but by Diaz as well, and they can't quite get control of him at the moment. There is a yellow card for Ben Brereton Diaz.
He's changed the game. Little jinky-doo coming in off that left-hand side. Off the right-hand side with his left foot. Jinky-doo, yeah, jinky-doo.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, but you know what.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know exactly what I'm on about. How many of them have we don't see them now? People are coaching them out. But you've got to give someone the ball and let him take people on.
That's definitely something Patrick Roberts will do. We know he's predominantly left-footed, but he will go at defenders, try and manipulate the ball, try and go past people, make things happen.
Here is the free kick from the right side. Enzo Lefay will take it. It's a long one, deep to the far post, and Michael Cooper comes out and brilliantly punches.
That is a punch.
He got so much distance on that. It went out of play, further back than level with the edge of the penalty area. It was such a good, strong fist from Michael Cooper. Here is Sirkin far side though, as Sunderland regather possession. Bellingham is dispossessed. A chance for O'Hare now as Peck sends him away on the right-hand side. It's a different mindset from Sheffield United, who were quite happy to contain and not take those risky passes on when they were 1-0 up. But now they've got to get into the more adventurous mode again, Darren Bent.
Yeah, they have. I mean, even there's been a couple of times Callum O'Hare picks the ball up and he's got opportunity to run with it and drive with it forward and pick the pass out and goes backwards. It's almost like you're not winning. It's 1-1 now. I know you don't want to give the ball away in case Sunderland get this possession and score a goal, create an opportunity, but you've got to be brave. You were doing it before at 1-0. You've got to continue to do that.
Actually, Hume has just got in with a really strong challenge on Ben Brereton Diaz. He took the ball, but boy did he take Brereton Diaz as well. He went flying up in the air, came down, landed on his hip, and has got a bit of a problem as a result of that. He is in serious pain on this near touchline.
He really is. That doesn't look good, does it?
One of the old school fashion type tackles, wasn't it? You know, one of those where it's old school and you go, first tackle, leave it on him. It was one of them.
Crikey.
He took everything there, kitchen sink the lot, didn't he? Even what was in the attic, I think. He's just cleared it out.
It was like a tackle from a different time zone, wasn't it? It was old school, all right. And it's going to add further delay. Both sets of players come over to the near touchline to receive instructions. Regis Labrie and his coaching staff are right out in amongst the players, issuing instructions. We're seeing a replay of the goal, which Mayenda cracked into the top of the net. And, you know, he's had a really good second half of the season. He has been involved now in 10 goals in 14 starts for Sunderland in 2025. Got a goal and assist against Sheffield United on New Year's Day, and he's been in the thick of the action here. He's levelled things up with 3 minutes to go now.
Really nice finish from him, and as you said, even in the second half, just bringing on Patrick Robertson and Wilson Isidore just seemed to free him up a little bit. Like he's picking up little pockets now where they're not really following him into areas. And as I said, when he got that opportunity, boy, he wasn't going to pass that up. Little shift with his left foot and smash with his right foot into the roof of the net. He's been very, very good this second half.
Winner takes all at Wembley. For the triumphant team, they will not only get promotion, but their futures are secured because of the bounty that comes with stepping up a level. And if you are a supporter of either team, you're desperate to get over the line. Jordan Henderson in the England squad is here today. I think the plan was for him to come with Jude Bellingham today, who's watching his brother. But we've got the England games upcoming on Talksport, which both those two players would be expected to be involved in. Henderson and Bellingham are in the latest squad. Thomas Tuchel explaining his thought process with our Faker Rubbers yesterday. And there's matches against Andorra and Senegal upcoming. Here is Brooks on the far side. What a chance he had to seal the playoff final. Back he goes to halfway. Into Robinson, to Amahodzic, and then back towards that right side once more. Connected by Chowdhury, then on to Brooks. Brooks back to Amahodzic, and then he gives it to Chowdhury. They've now got 90 seconds left. They're just playing it amongst themselves inside their own half. They need a telling moment late on in the game. It's not going to come like this. All the way back to Michael Cooper.
Yeah, Sheffield United there was Kiefer Moore's made 2, 3, 4 runs and no one's got the red up and looked to play the pass. They're playing it safe. It's almost like they're saying, right, we'll take it to extra time. But I still think there's opportunities there. One team, I think, if you play the right way, we'll get an opportunity before this 90 minutes is over.
Ball down the right side for Brooks to chase. Across comes Ballard. Ballard puts it out. It's away for a throw-in, and we're about to see another 2 changes on the touchline for Sheffield United. Alex Crook.
Well, one is enforced because Ben Brereton Diaz has headed straight down the tunnel for treatment, so he makes way. So too does Sidney Peck, and the 2 players coming on. Tom Davis, that was pre-planned. He was already ready to come on when Brereton Diaz went down. And Tom Cannon is coming on as well as a direct replacement for the injured Chilean. And while we had that stoppage in play, Luke O'Nien, he's keeping himself busy. He was down there handing out bananas to keep energy levels up amongst his Sunderland teammates.
With his only working hand, I imagine. So bearing in mind that he is in a sling and dislocated his right shoulder. On comes Tom Cannon. He's only scored 1 goal. I was there when he did it, actually. It was up at Burnley on that Easter Monday. Ball thrown in towards the edge of the penalty area by Sheffield United on the attack with Robinson. It's headed away. There was a clash of heads inside the box. The referee hasn't stopped the game. He has now. And it's 2 Sheffield United players that have collided inside the box. And one of those, Tom Cannon, has just come off the bench. And his first act in the process of running onto the pitch was to head one of his teammates in the back of the head.
I was going to say he fired into someone. Can't say that, can I?
Of course you can. You just did.
80, I like that one.
Well, we're going to have a long old night here, it looks like, because 7 minutes of added time still to play. There is a player down. Cannon's back on his feet now. There's another player down inside the penalty area. I think it might be Amahozic who's collided with him. He's got a bit of a whack. Kiefer Moore is in there as well. It is Amahozic who's getting a bit of treatment now. So we've had 7 minutes that have been allotted as the added time, but there'll be a bit more than that because of this stoppage too. And this most tense of games, this most important of matches, that hasn't seen 2 goals in a playoff final since 2021 from either team. Screaming for a winner. Who's going to manage it? Is it going to happen in the period of extra time, or will we go all the way to penalties? There's a nervous hush around the ground now. I don't know if you've noticed that. I can see Peter Ridsdale sitting next to Kirill Louis-Dreyfus, who took over the club in 2020. He was only 23 at the time when he assumed control. They've built slowly and steadily, sometimes controversially, sometimes too slowly, to put themselves on a sure footing, make an attempt to get back to the big time. This is the closest they've been. They spent 4 seasons in League One.
Yeah, it was tough times for them. It's been a long road back for Sunderland for sure, but you just got to keep believing now. I think we're in a time where you look at the supporters. You spoke about it there, Sam, about the atmosphere in the stadium. It almost goes from real belief to tense worry, like, okay, just hope we don't make a mistake, just hope we don't give the ball away, or someone gives the ball away, so then we lose this game. So I think at the minute both teams have got to go back to what they were doing. I think Sunderland this second half have been better. I think getting that goal has given them that real confidence to go on and try and win this game. I think my end has been key. Patrick Roberts, the substitutions have really, really paid off. On the flip side, it's almost like the substitutions for Sheffield United, other than Andre Brooks, who I think's done well, I think Callum O'Hare, Brereton Diaz has had to go off, Tom Davis, Thomas Cannon. It's almost, they've come away from what they were doing really, really well. So I think for Sheffield United and Chris Wilder, can they get back to what was causing Sunderland problems?
That's the big question, isn't it? David Tanner's got details of what's happening in the Scottish Cup final. Here he is.
And we are having extra time. After 90 minutes, it's finished. Aberdeen 1, Celtic 1. Alfie Dorrington's own goal put Celtic ahead 5 minutes before the break. And then Kasper Schmeichel's own goal leveled things at 83 minutes. It's been open since then. This could go either way. Aberdeen 1, Celtic 1, and we're into extra time.
Well, Amahozic is walking off behind the goal away to our left. Alex Crook is on the bench. All 5 substitutes have been used by Sheffield United, but they do have 2 additional concussion substitutes should they be required.
Yes, indeed, but no sign at the moment that they are going to do that. So you imagine that Ahmed Hodzic is going to try and continue. He does look more than a little groggy, but at the moment Sheffield United down to 10 men. He is walking all the way around the perimeter of the pitch as well, so we'll pay close attention to that. This has been quite a bruising Championship playoff final.
Ball cleared through the middle by Cooper, up towards Cannon, who rises, beaten in the air by Ballard. They're still down to 10 players at the moment. The ball breaks loose. It's picked up by Lefay. It's now with Tom Davis scurrying around. Doesn't quite get there, and it's pushed forward towards Patrick Roberts. Can they take advantage of being up a player here? Roberts runs forward, loses footing, won by Davis, set back by Moore, and he's given it away to Watson, and Tommy Watson runs to the edge of the area, a right-footed shot into the corner, and the teenager wins the playoff final for Sunderland and sends them to the Premier League. What a parting gift from Tommy Watson, picking up a loose ball given away by Moore, arrowing it into the corner and sending Sunderland into the big time. 95 minutes on the clock and Sunderland steal it at Wembley.
What a finish from Tom Watson. What a finish. I mean, Kiefer Moore has got to hang his head in shame there. One of the most experienced players on the pitch gives the ball away in the complete wrong area. But once it falls to Tom Watson, I mean, it's the composure again. I mean, he's a fully, 20 yards out. He doesn't opt to smash it. He just works on his technique and just rolls it past the goalkeeper into that far corner from the edge of the box. It's such a composed finish. Oh, it's incredible for Tom Watson. The Sunderland fans have gone absolutely absolutely ballistic, but it's Kiefer Moore. When he looks back at it, he just gives the ball away in the wrong area. But Tom Watson, when he picks up that ball, he knows exactly what he's going to do. Question marks around the goalkeeper potentially, but the moment it drops to his feet, he knows exactly what he's going to do, and he just uses the defender and just rolls it round into that far corner. What a finish from Tom Watson.
Well, he's only scored 2 goals before for Sunderland. They both came in the same game earlier in the campaign against Stoke. But that one, that means everything to him as he goes off to Brighton for 10 million quid. But the teenage academy graduate has left them in the best possible way. He slides over to the corner, takes his shirt off and tosses it into the crowd. And Sunderland lead in injury time.
Is that with 10 men? Did they have 10 men?
Yep. They had 10 players at the time. Sheffield United, and we mentioned it just beforehand, can they take advantage, Sunderland? And they did. And Alex Crook can tell us about the concussion substitute which is about to take place.
Yeah, Ahmed Hodzic, like Brereton Diaz, heads straight down the tunnel to the dressing room area. Femi Siriki is coming on as that concussion sub, but I think you do have to ask the question, why didn't they press that button earlier? Why did they find themselves in a position, Sunderland, where they were down to 10 men? Mayenda is making way as well for Sunderland, and on comes Leo Helger. But why did Sheffield United not get back to their full quota of players much earlier? It was pretty clear that Ahmed Hodzic would not be able to continue.
And that's why I raised it with you, Crook. That's why I said there was 2 concussion subs available, because it surprised me that as he walked behind the goal, he didn't look ready to be able to continue, and we're going into injury time. And Sheffield United may well have lost it here in injury time, because goal scorer Mayenda is coming off. On from the bench now comes Leo Vergelder, and we've got just mere seconds to play. Sheffield United have got to find a goal very, very late on in the playoff final, otherwise Sunderland are going to the Premier League. Tackle over on the far side from I think is that Circuit who's just gone wiring in right in over on the far side and straight into Femi Siriki, who's only just come onto the field of play. Welcome to the game.
Welcome to the game, 100 miles an hour. But now Sunderland have got to defend this last free kick. I mean, again, Kiefer Moore is probably standing there now trying to attack again. Please just give me an opportunity to kind of rectify that error that I made.
Ball into the box. It's not a great one from Chowdhury. It's headed away, but it's going to be retrieved by Souza. We've played 8 minutes of stoppage time. We're only supposed to have 7, but there have been so many injuries. Here on the edge of the area, Cannon's got it now, sets it back. And then the offside flag goes up, and again we have time being pierced, time standing still, and Kiefer Moore wants the ground to swallow him up.
Just so experienced centre forward as well. In that situation, just take the ball in, draw the foul. He's been doing it all game, taking the ball in really, really well. But he opted at the wrong time to play one touch, gives it away. But take nothing away from Tom Watson. The finish for someone who's so young. I mean, in that area there, you get people that panic. They just try and take the lever off the ball. He just guides it into that far corner. Lovely finish.
It's going to be another crushing blow for Sheffield United at Wembley. No one alive has ever seen Sheffield United win at Wembley, and they might believe they never will. Sunderland have turned their Wembley nightmares into a dream factory. It's going to be 3 wins in a row under the arch after 7 defeats in a row. Ball cleared away by Michael Cooper. Out towards this near side. It goes straight out of play, and Sunderland have got it once again. Last year it was Southampton. The year before it was Luton, Forest. Before that, Brentford, and then Fulham in 2020. This year it's about to be Sunderland. 99 minutes and 15 seconds have been played. We're nearly over 100 minutes in the playoff final. Goals from Mayenda, and then the winner from Tommy Watson, only the second teenager to score in a championship playoff final. Stealing the show and nicking a place in the Premier League at the end of the campaign. Roberts, who's made such a difference, comes across and shuts down an attempted clearance by Robinson. He tosses it down the line. It's a huge ball up to Moore, but he doesn't get there. It's away by Mepham, who had to come on as a substitute in the first half, inside the first few minutes of the game. Sunderland edging their way closer to glory. Up towards Enzo Lefebvre. Enzo Lefebvre trying to cut across Souza. Souza comes across and gives away a foul. And it's a free kick. And Lefebvre celebrates as if he's just won the World Cup.
Great play there from Lefebvre. I mean, using his body, it probably wasn't a foul, but you know, when you get your body across if you feel the slightest contact in your back, go down. He does that. Great play between him and Wilson Isidore as well. And Sunderland now game managing really, really well.
What a turnaround, hasn't it? What a turnaround. Great substitutions. Well done. Fantastic performance from Sunderland.
Jordan Henderson is ready to celebrate up in a box high in Wembley's second tier. The Sunderland fans are ready to explode. Ball goes into Lefay. Up to Hume, and then Hume over the top for Lefay once again, who smashes it through the 18-yard box. It travels all the way through towards the other side. 101 minutes have been played at Wembley. Chris Kavanagh looks at his watch. Still we continue. Is there one last chance for Sheffield United? Or is it going to be Sunderland's day? Smashed forward by Robinson. Headed away by Mepham. Picked up by Roberts. Oh, he hasn't got hold of that. His second opportunity to get it clear is better. But it's won back by Davis for Sheffield United. O'Hare forward, and he plays it straight out of play on this near side, and it goes out for a throw into Sunderland, and they will take all the time in the world over this, knowing they're moments away. They've been on the up since the new owner took charge, but Lee Johnson couldn't get him up from League One. Alex Neil did, then walked out. Tony Mowbray, Nick Bill and Mike Dodds had a turn last season, but it will be Regis Labrie who is the one most remembered fondly, and nobody knew who he was a year ago. Here is Hume tossing it down the line. There is the full-time whistle, and after 8 years away, Sunderland are Premier League again. Their players, substitutes, squad members and staff spill onto the pitch. Regis Labrie embraces his assistants, goes onto the turf, waves at his family, and then commiserates with the Sheffield United players. 14 points off Sheffield United in the final table, but winners under the arch in the richest game of them all. Slowly and steadily, Sunderland are erasing their Wembley woes, and a teenager has stolen the show. Tommy Watson will leave Sunderland in the summer, but he becomes a Black Cat legend, and Regis Labrie has come from nowhere to steer Sunderland back to the top flight of English football. Sheffield United's Wembley curse, their playoff curse, cannot be reversed. But this is Sunderland's day, and it's going to be a hell of a summer on Wearside. Sunderland have won the playoff final. They've beaten Sheffield United, and they are promoted to the Premier League. Sheffield United 1, Sunderland 2.
Well, half of Wembley is awash with noise and celebration and fans that have filled that horseshoe, and they won't be going anywhere for some time yet. Blade's faces are full of disbelief. Just looking at Michael Cooper, the keeper, who's made some good saves for Sheffield United in this game. He literally cannot believe what has just happened. He's on the floor in the centre circle. He's being consoled by teammates. There's other Sheffield United players, inconsolable. They had it won, and then they went and lost it. Kiefer Moore gives the ball away. Tommy Watson on his way to Brighton. Well, because of him, because of his goal, that superb finish, his new club will face Sunderland next season. And what a game we've been treated to here at Wembley in this Championship playoff final live on Talksport. Blades led, VAR controversy ruled out a second for Sheffield United. The Sunderland keeper, Ann Patterson, let's not forget him. He made some great saves to keep them in it, to keep it just 1-0. And how important was that? Because second half, Sunderland woke up, may end up burying a chance to equalise. And then Tom Watson hold the perfect puck, rolled it into the hole, nestled it into the net. And Sunderland win at Wembley. Sunderland get promoted. Sheffield United, they're going to be asking questions about VAR. They're going to be answering questions about why they didn't make a quick concussion sub. But it's Sunderland's day, it's Sunderland's promotion, and that's why those Black Cats are celebrating away to our right. And you know, 3.5 years ago, I was at a League One game on a Saturday afternoon for Game Day Live, hosting for Talksport, and that game finished Bolton Wanderers 6, Sunderland 0. Mackems flattened, shattered. They were broken in bits that day. Half those fans in that away end of Bolton left at half time. And now look at them. They're not going to be leaving Wembley. They've filled their half of this stadium. They are Premier League and Newcastle United. Watch out. Sunderland are back, and back in the big time. And Darren Bent, a couple of great goals. Listen, Kiefer Moore, he won't be able to sleep for giving the ball away, but what a finish. Cool from Tom Watson, a teenager at Wembley in the heat of a Championship playoff final battle. Knows he's on his way to the Premier League anyway. Takes Sunderland there while he's going.
Incredible finish, because in that situation there, when you're young, you can get caught up in the occasion, playoff final. This might be the chance to send my team to the Premier League. You often choose the wrong technique, Abe. You go for power and you try and smash it as hard as you can. Tom Watson doesn't do that. He gets into an area just outside the box and he goes, you know what? I'm not going to smash it. I'm going to use the defender and I'm just going to roll it round him. And if the keeper makes a save, well played. If it doesn't, it goes in. I'm a hero. So the finish from him for someone who's so young, in this occasion, at the moment of the game as well, you talk about injury time, is absolutely fantastic. You spoke about Kiefer Moore there. I do feel for him. I've been in that situation when you've given the ball away and you're praying, please don't score, please don't score. He's experienced enough to come back from this, but he'll know tonight he won't sleep well tonight. But again, for Tom Watson in that scenario to finish it the way that he does from about 20 yards out, what a finish from him.
Brilliant. There are sunglasses being worn out on the pitch by the Sunderland players. We talked about the sunglasses before the game when they wore them after the second leg of the playoff semi-final. I've just seen Mickey Gray out there with sunglasses on as well. Mickey Gray, how dare you?
It's the height of tears, honestly. Absolutely incredible. Look, I came here today and I don't know, in the back of my mind, I didn't think I was going to witness this. But from 75 minutes onwards, there was only one team going to win it. Got the equalising goal, and what a parting gift from Tom Watson. Absolutely incredible. The scenes are just... I mean, you don't get that. That's just absolutely incredible. They live and breathe football in the North East. This is what they go for. It's just sensational. I absolutely love it.
Hold on, just 1 second. Sorry, Mickey. Listen, you were talking about a parting gift. Honestly, Tom Watson, they've sold their Wembley match winner. How Sunderland is that?
Well, Adrian, I mean, like you say, it's a recruitment club. You just don't know what's happening at Sunderland. Players are going to come, players are going to go. And I feel for that now. Look, he's been absolutely incredible. What a way to go. What a send-off. Yes, we want to see him in a Sunderland shirt next season. It's not going to happen, but my goodness. He will never be forgotten now. An absolute legend at a young age that he is, but that is just cool calmness. What a finish. Just absolutely incredible. Wow.
Stunning for somebody so young, Mickey. And I'll tell you what as well, I know I was with you in the first half and you were not impressed with the way Sunderland were playing. At half-time I was told you were still not impressed, but that's a way to come back in the second half.
Well, Adrian, look, I mean, they did it against Coventry, I have to say, in both the games against Coventry City. It's about getting over the line and winning football matches. For 75 minutes they never competed. Then, for some strange reason, they just put themselves into gear, and from that moment, and the end of goal's fantastic, it's an incredible finish, and then you could just see this surge, the momentum just changed into Sunderland's favour. And I think I just heard Bentley saying there about a player making a mistake. Kiefer Moore, he played really well today, by the way. His header was fantastic in the first couple of minutes. Don't think about the mistake. It was a wonderful finish from Tom Watson.
Mickey, how important do you think the substitutions were? Because it seemed to change the game. When you look what came on for Sunderland, you had obviously Chris Meppen early, but Patrick Roberts, Tom Watson, Wilson Isidore, they all played their part.
Bentley, it was absolutely huge. I was crying out for Isidore. I thought he was going to come on at half-time. When he came on, he just gives you that presence up front. He can hold the ball up, and you see everybody else bounces off him. Roberts down this right-hand side, absolutely sensational. Nutmegs, getting the ball into the area. But they just looked like they had a little bit more desire then, a bit more energy. And it's amazing. You get the equalising goal. You know it yourself. Ian knows it in that room there as well. It's all about momentum, taking you forward. You get the equaliser, then the second one is not far behind. But you've got to put it in the back of the net. I've got to say, even when he had the shot, it was so cool. His little right foot, little side pass into the corner. Wow, it's just absolutely sensational. I'm over the moon for them, over the moon.
And you're out there in the middle of the Sunderland fans as well, Mickey. They're loving every second.
Well, I think I'm going to be a part of the players coming up the steps now as well. I didn't really want to be here, to be honest with you, but the atmosphere is just unbelievable. I've been roped in, I can't get out. Oh my
Are you going to be going up with them? Get yourself a medal.
I might do. I'll jump on Dan Neil's back. Oh, it's just absolutely incredible. I swear, I came to Wembley today, no expectations whatsoever. This has just over-exceeded my expectations. It's just incredible.
Well, one wonders, it's a debate for another day, how they can compete. Will they compete in the Premier League? How many of these young players will still be at Sunderland? Is promotion a reason for the likes of Chris Rigg to stay at the football club? We already know the match winner is gone. That's a done deal, already gone to Brighton. But how many will stay? And a word for the keeper as well, Anthony Patterson, because from the very first minute he made a wonder save to keep out the header. And then he made save after save at 1-0 down, and he was absolutely vital today. Here come the players right next to you.
Oh, look at this. They were just a caramel influence, Adrian, wasn't he? Absolutely incredible. I mean, look at this. I never got to witness this. It was just unbelievable. These players coming through, they don't realise they are absolute legends now. They don't realise what this means to the city itself. It's just incredible. There's my mate with his glasses on. This is just incredible.
Joe Bellingham going by as well. Anthony Patterson there right next. He's a big lad. They're all being hugged by the fans. They can't make their way up the steps because they're being hugged by the fans.
This is just sensational. Really is. Wow. To get this close as well. I just thought, is it ever going to happen? Been here so many times in the Championship playoffs. But to get up there's another one of my mates there with his glasses on. Brilliant, this, isn't it?
They're loving it, Mickey.
I think I'll put mine on in a second.
There's somebody's shirts off. That's so northeast. It's unbelievable.
That's the match winner.
Is it because he got a Brighton shirt on?
Oh my goodness, this is just
thought he was going to whip his Sunderland shirt off when he scored and reveal a blue and white striped shirt.
Absolutely incredible.
Listen, they're going to go up very shortly, but Mickey, you and I were at Bolton 6, Sunderland 0. That feels like a million years ago.
Oh, forget about that, eh? When did that happen? It's all about the now, Adrian. You're going to have a great summer now. I know that everybody, whether all the players are staying in London tonight, they can enjoy themselves if they want to. I've got to go back, unfortunately, or to be with them.
Well, I can tell you on Talksport 2, it's Arsenal 0, Barcelona 0. Over 15 minutes gone in the Champions League final, the Women's Champions League final. Sunderland make their way up to the balcony to receive the trophy that means they are Premier League. They've been promoted. To talk you through it, here's Sam Atface.
Well, after 1,312 goals, players from 76 different countries who have contributed to a fantastic season of Championship football. It is a goal from a man who isn't even on the back of the programme, who has won the playoff final for Sunderland. What a fall they experienced, 4 seasons in League One, but they bounced back, and they bounced back in style. 3 managers last season, just one this season, and he's standing on the front rail of the Royal Box, ready to receive the Championship playoff trophy. They'd never heard of him last summer. They certainly know his name now. They lost to Charlton in 1998 painfully. They lost to Swindon in 1990 in the second tier playoffs. But for the first time, they're going to win a Championship playoff final. Luke O'Nien, who was taken off before the game, is standing next to the trophy. He lifts it into the air. It's Mackham magic at Wembley. The year of the underdog continues. Sunderland still the show. They throw the playoff trophy up high. Luke O'Nien needed a bit of help to raise it because his right arm is in a sling. But they celebrate a return to the Premier League 8 years after relegation. And it's a party that will go on for days and days in the northeast.
Fantastic stuff to see Luke O'Nien in a sling helping to lift that trophy. And bear in mind, he ran round to the back of the goal to celebrate the equaliser. He was dishing bananas out as they needed energy in the final few moments. And who knows, the energy from one of those bananas may well have meant that Sunderland won this playoff final and got promoted to the Premier League. Ian Holloway, what drama at Wembley. How brilliant was that?
It's unbelievable. A year of the underdogs. I did say it earlier on, right? The birds. The black cats are going to be chasing the birds now, mate. I am delighted for their manager. I have to say, I wasn't criticising him. I'm just saying what you need to do, and what he did was fantastic. He put 2 up front that really, really hurt Sheffield United at that time. He brought on a little winger there, and his decision to bring Isidore and have him as a finisher, I think, paid massively for him. So brilliant. Delighted for him, and look at that. That's what I mean about that horseshoe. Look at that. I'd love to be somewhere near there. Well, that's having a party.
The half of Wembley that is just chock-a-block, 3 tiers full of Sunderland fans. The Sheffield United half, that horseshoe is empty. And a word about Chris Wilder and Sheffield United. 2 points deducted. They were right up against it. Recruitment had to be delayed last summer. There were ownership issues as well. They've been in the mix for automatic all season until 3 defeats in a row, and suddenly they knew it was going to be playoffs for them, and they've not quite got over the line. They will be devastated.
Well, they will, and the truth is we've had VAR today. VAR has denied them a goal on a normal day. Without that, we're not used to it in the Championship. We don't have it. All of a sudden that's gone on, so they'll feel devastated, but they're big enough, they're strong enough, they'll come bouncing back, and with Chris Wilder in charge, that'll be next season without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, Ollie Klink and Rory Jennings are standing by to take your calls in about 10 minutes. 03717 223344. And Darren Bent, I'm pretty sure that the VAR decision may well be a topic of conversation. We have a goal in Lisbon. Charlotte Richardson.
It's the day of the underdog at Wembley, perhaps the day of the underdog here as well. Arsenal 1, Barcelona 0. The Gunners break the deadlock. An own goal by Irene Paredes, who taps into the back of her own net. It's a great start for the Gunners. Arsenal 1, Barcelona 0.
What is she doing, honestly? It's unbelievable. Wow. Surely not. I mean, that would be ridiculous.
Come on. The underdog. The year of the underdog.
Absolutely extraordinary. Listen, they'll be taking your calls on the VAR check. The second goal that was ruled out, but ultimately that now, Darren Bent, is history. It is Sunderland's day. They've shown character as well, to be 1 down and to be right up against it and to come back and win 2-1.
Yeah, they did really well. First half, they weren't really quite at it, couldn't quite figure out what Sheffield United were doing, as you can hear the Sunderland fans behind me screaming. But I thought second half, I thought the substitutions were key, but I thought they came out of real intensity. I think Mayenda, when he brought on Isidore, kind of freed him up a little bit. He scored a really good goal, but it almost forced Sheffield United to come away from what they were doing really well in that first half, and they started to implement what they wanted to do, Sunderland, in this game. And then, as I said, to win it in that fashion from Tom Watson, I mean, you couldn't have written that story when he woke up this morning. He's leaving to go to Brighton, but to score the winner in a Championship playoff final is absolutely incredible, and it's the manner of the finish as well. It's incredible.
It is, and actually 10 million feels like a bit of a slip, doesn't it?
It is. What a wonderful thing for that young man to do, and how calm. That's a senior player rolling out in the corner. He didn't panic. It's just beautiful. Well done, son. And what a leaving gift that is.
Oh, and some. He's repaid it. He's given them 10 million quid for the transfer fee and a load of money from the Premier League as well. Let's go back to the Women's Champions League final. It's not good news, Charlotte Richardson.
No, the goal has been chalked off. Arsenal 0, Barcelona 0. The Gunners thought they were in front, but after a VAR check, Frida Monum, the Arsenal player whose teasing cross from the right-hand side was tapped in by Barcelona's centre-back Irene Paredes, was in an offside position. It was a very, very close one, Adrian, but we'll back square. Arsenal 0, Barcelona 0.
It was a tight one, but I do believe she was offside. Just signed a contract this week, Frida Marlin, but she thought she'd set up the opener. Arsenal 0, Barcelona 0. That's live on Talksport 2 right now. Going to be taking your calls on Talksport very shortly. But this never ceases to amaze you, does it? The Championship playoff final always delivers. There's always a story, and this one maybe, Ian, more than most, because Sunderland is a big story. When I talk about 3.5 years ago, they were losing 6-0 at Bolton. Lee Johnson was in charge. They've gone through manager after manager since then. They've already made the playoffs in the Championship once a couple of seasons ago, and they ran out of players. They had so many injuries that season, and here they are. They make the playoffs again with a new manager we didn't know anything about. Everybody was saying, who's he? Why have they appointed him? Why didn't they go for such and such or such and such? And look what he's done. He's got them to the Premier League in his first season.
It's absolutely incredible, honestly. And to go through the finish of the season where you've lost 5 in a row and still then knock out Coventry or on a complete roll. Did they really deserve it? Well, to win that away game, no one felt they were going to do that. So yes, they did. And to get that goal at the end, he was brave enough not to play his centre half. He put a young kid in who scored that goal. And what he's done today, in my opinion, is save Isidore for later on so he can come on and make a difference. And Roberts can make a difference, and the main man himself, Watson. Well, that is what you're a manager about. That's what you do it for. Well done to you. Honestly, that is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And I'm so pleased for Sunderland. They're going to get that money that can change their club and get them back up to where they deserve to be with this many supporters week in, week out.
Well, pyro flying into the air in celebration as the champagne corks pop, and silver and gold streamers are flying above the heads of those Sunderland players, and those celebrations will go on and on and on. Your old club, Darren Bent, a Premier League, and maybe it's a debate we can have a longer length for another day. But the job now is to stay there.
It's to stay there, and I mean, fantastic. We've got the derby back. Obviously, I have fond memories of that, which is going to be fantastic. You know what happened there, Ray? We lost 5-1. Did my job, though.
Did your job.
But no, yeah, having that Sunderland back in the Premier League, I know how much it means to these supporters. Obviously, I played there for, I think, 18 months, but they are fantastic. They turn up in their thousands every single week. Even when we went through tough times, it's cold, it's wet, it's raining. They're out there in their thousands, filling up the stadium alike, and to have them back in the big time, I think it's going to pay dividend. Of course, it's going to be difficult. We know how difficult the gap is between the Premier League and the Championship. But if we backed against a side and a club that have got the resources and the fan power to be able to do it, I'd say it'd be Sunderland.
When are you back on drive?
Monday.
Look forward to that. 4 o'clock. Do not miss it. Ian, been great to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. He loved it, mate.
I can tell you,
absolute privilege.
Ian Holloway has thoroughly enjoyed today with Talksport. Listen, we had a load of legends before the game. You can check out all those interviews on social media. Loads of Sunderland legends. Jimmy Montgomery. We had Kevin Phillips. Loads of them. So check those out on our social media platforms at Talksport. While the Sunderland celebrations go on, they are Premier League next season. And taking your calls on that next, I'll let you know. Ollie Klink is a Newcastle fan, by the way, so enjoy calling into him. He's alongside Rory Jennings. 03717 223344.